And we're live, you know. And I've got a special guest. Hey, Tom Grassie's my guest. He came down for a visit. Can you believe it? It's great. He's got his girlfriend right next door. That's Barbara. Say hi to her. And let's start with our hellos, and we'll go from there. So let's see who got the cookie this time. Get my cursor over there. And my glasses, you know, I'm blind. I can't see anything up close. All right, Schuylkill River Valley. John, you get the cookie. Lucky you. Enjoy your cookie tonight. And let's see. We've got Train Man 1, Mickey. You get the half cookie. Lucky you. Good to see you here tonight. And let's see who else we got here. We have Russ's Rockin' O and HO Trains and stuff. Russ, good to see you. Ray Burleson said he has to do a stupid Zoom meeting tonight. That kind of sucks, doesn't it? Where's my overhead here?
That sounds like work.
It does sound like work. And I don't have an overlay for some reason. I don't know why. Let me do something here quick. Okay, I got it there. All right, I got to do something real quick. Bear with me for a minute. It's always something. There we go. Okay, now we got it. That's always something. All right, Ray. Well, if you get back, fine. If not, you can catch me on a replay. And let's see. We have Gerald Stewart. Gerald, how's it going? And who else do we got here? Looks like that's about it, huh? Where is everybody? Oh, we got Joe Rader, Black Rock Central. Joe, how's it going? Nope, no cookie for you. Sorry. Maybe next time. I got a late start today because, you know, me and Tom were discussing things. So we had to take care of that. Hey, 187, HO Scale Steel Mule Modeling. Well, that's a tongue twister. Good to see you here tonight. And who else do we got? We're scrolling. Hot Dog Pilot Andy. Hey, Andy, how's it going?
Hey, Andy.
Let's see who else. Okay, that's everybody. All right, cool. So, as you know, I've been working hard. Well, pretending to anyway. But fortunately, Tom Grassie, he's on vacation. He decided to swing by for visits because they have some family and friends down here in Florida, and I guess I wasn't too far away. So, we're going to be spending the evening with these guys. It won't be real long now. We'll probably knock off around 8. So I don't want to hold him back here from, you know, enjoying his vacation too much. But actually, it's been really good because we've been discussing a lot of things on my layout, and he's come up with some really great ideas that I had considered. So that's really going to be helpful for me. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'm looking at the monitor now, so speak up or, you know, forever hold your peace. Oh, man. Andy, that's too bad, man. My holiday is not extended to the U.S., sadly. Well, maybe next time. That's right, you're across the pond, so, you know. You need to move to the States. If things go south over there, you may have to anyway.
Things are going south here, too.
Oh, yeah, they're kind of going south here, too. So I don't know if it might be any better or not. But
6 and 1/2 dozen. Right?
Yeah, you're pretty much right there, Tom. So, is everybody doing good tonight, hopefully? Oh, I haven't done much of, well, uh-oh. Train Man says, I think Pringles secretly wants to make tennis balls.
Well, they got the containers for them, right?
That's true. They do have the container. Is that what you're thinking there? Mickey, I don't know. You might be onto something there. You know what's going to happen a couple weeks from now? We'll be in the grocery stores and Pringles tennis balls in the same can. I mean, they would fit. Oh, who knows? That's a little weird, but hey, that's what we do here. So, I don't know if any of you guys have seen my few of my videos I put out lately. I gotten some of the second level, the framework up, 3 sections, which pretty much covers the left side of the wall. And hopefully, I don't know, maybe this month, maybe next month, I'll get more wood and start doing the rest of it to go all the way around. And that sounds like that, what was that, T-Mobile? Always on the phone.
Phones never stop.
They never do either. So, Gerald says my first real vacation was last week. My son, oh, that's right, you went to Durango. I remember you saying something about it. Have a good time there, I hope? That'd be cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is, actually. So, you know what I've been doing. Like I said, Tom's given me a few great ideas here, so we're going to extend the renovation a little bit. Mostly on this tip up here. I'm going to shorten it because it's a little long. And I don't know how well you can see that. Let me point the camera a little bit. Oh, wrong camera. There we go. So my tip up right there. Yeah, there, right there. We're going to shorten it, which means extending some of the bench work over there, which is actually will make a lot of difference in the way the layout runs. Because as Tom pointed out, it's actually a little long, longer than it should be. And it actually is causing me some problems. So, right there, Barbara. So shortening it's going to solve some problems. And it'll also allow me, if I want to later on, to run a complete loop for the second level by having a second tip up. So it's high enough where I can get away with it, and it'll also be short, which is also a good thing. And actually, I could either tip it up or even drop it down, doesn't matter. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out.
And the other thing, too, I just thought of, the top one, tip up could be shorter one. This could fit in between that opening. So you
That's
can
true.
lift the top one up first, and this one you can lift up second.
It's a good point.
Okay. That's, you know, you'd have to measure it out, figure out where that would
Yeah.
come. Then you could have this hook onto the top piece. So it doesn't
That's
come
true.
down.
So it wasn't coming. Yeah, good idea. See, the guy's smart. I'm telling you, he's on top of it.
All I needed to do was see it a little bit.
Well, that's it too. You know, seeing it on the camera and seeing it in person is really two different things.
Right.
But let me see. I gotta have a picture there somehow. There we go.
Right, because this little metal thing here holding it up.
Yeah, that's not very good. I mean, it's
Yeah.
pretty lame.
It worked, but
Well,
when
some
you're working
degree.
on the layout, you're moving things around.
That's true.
Yeah, we'll have a few more ideas before we leave.
Oh, I'm sure he will. So, but it's been very helpful because, like I said, it is a big project. You know, of course, I think any project is big when you get down to it. But so I'm being smart this time. Though I'm taking my time. You know, and I hate to admit it, but in the beginning, I really did rush through it, and I made quite a few mistakes actually. But you know, that's part of the hobby. That's going to happen. But it also helps too when you got other guys that have done their own layouts and worked out some of their own bugs to share with me so that I won't make the same mistake. And I hope that sometimes I've helped others in the same way. But it's all going to look good, really good when I get through with it. I don't know if I talked about it last week or not, but the overhead rail, which will be going back in, I'm going to lower it quite a bit. These are the new supports. The old supports, which I don't have one here, but in scale, the old supports were about 4 stories tall in HO. In real life, prototypically, you would never see a 4-story tall overhead rail. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, that's close. There you go. This would have been the old support here in comparison. See the difference? So we're doing away with the big ones, and we're going to go with these small supports. And these in scale are right around just under 2 stories. So that should be perfect for what we need. It'll also simplify the layout a little bit too. It'll be structurally a lot more solid with the lower supports. The taller support you get, the more sway you're going to get, the more problems you run into. And the reality is there's a lot of physics involved in all this stuff. You wouldn't think so, but the reality is there is. So I'm making a lot of changes here to make things better, to look more realistic, and also to function better. Because I hate problems. Much like y'all do anyway, but. Oh, hey, Dwight, how's it going? Good to see you here. Who's the guest? Right behind me is Tom Grassi.
Hey, Dwight.
And his girlfriend, Barbara, right there. They're down here on vacation. They decided to swing by for a visit. And they helped me out a little bit with my layout, which is cool. So that's who I got. That's the special guest. And this is only the second time I've actually had a guest here. I remember the first one was Pappy. He came down also for a visit, swung by for a while. And unfortunately, I would have liked to have gotten Tom from Tom's Trains and Things here, but he's not back in Sebring yet. He's still on the road heading back from up north, to my knowledge anyway. So otherwise, I would have invited him over and we could have had a little tiny meet and greet. You've never met him in person.
I never met Tom in person. No. Just talked to him a couple times.
He's pretty cool, but he just took a month vacation.
Yeah. But didn't he just get out of hospital or something recently?
Yeah, he had some heart issues, and they sort of. I think that was why he took this vacation. You know, might be the last one he take. I mean, realistically.
Yeah.
Same reason why I'm not traveling all over the place. I'm just getting to the point where I'm just too old for it. Even though I miss driving around, but
right. Exactly.
The days of running straight through things 20, 24 hours, not happening.
Not happening. Right.
Yeah. The last time I drove was right after I had the stroke. I was up in New York visiting a friend. I was up there for a little over a month, and I drove back myself. I had the BMW 325i there, convertible, 5-speed, which was excellent. Worked for my hand because I was still having problems. But it took me 3 days to get down here, from New York, and that's not much farther than Jersey.
Right.
So there used to be, I'd run that straight through, no problem. 20 hours, boom, I'm there. And those days are gone.
Well, what slowed us down was North Carolina and South Carolina are the only 2 states in the travels that we went through that 95 is under construction.
Oh, is it really? I didn't know that.
They're widening it. It's only 2 lanes there.
That's right, it is.
Right, everywhere else is 3 lanes, except for in North and South Carolina, and they're all under construction, making it wider. Yeah, that slowed down things a lot.
I'll bet.
Yeah.
Like I said, the last time I went up the East Coast, first time I was married, we toured the East Coast. We went all the way up to Maine and hit every state in between. Oh, actually, we were looking for a new place to live. We wound up in Virginia, but that was during the 70s, during the gas crisis and the work crisis. So we stayed there for just under a year. I couldn't find any work. I was trying to sell vacuum cleaners. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
I'd go to applied for a job as a tire jockey. The line must have been 2 miles long.
Really?
I got there at 5 o'clock in the morning. I get up there and I said, I'm here looking for a job. And I said, well, how much experience you got? He says, well, I'm a mechanic by trade. I says, changing tires is nothing to me, I says, realistically, probably about 5 or 6 years worth at least. Well, we were looking for somebody with about 20 years experience. That's for minimum wage. Seriously? I said, look, I don't have that experience. I said, I don't think anybody does. Who the hell changes tires for 20 years?
Right. You move on to a different job.
So, I don't know if they ever hired anybody, but I know nobody before me, they got the same answer I did, So it's crazy. Let's see, we had a couple people pop in here. Let's see. Trackside Mike, how's it going, Mike?
Hey, Mike.
Good to see you here. And there was somebody else I thought. I'm not paying attention too much here. I guess that was it. All right, Mike. Well, good to see you here. I have my special guest here today, Tom Grassi, and his girlfriend Barbara. They're down here on vacation, and they decided to pop, see what all the fuss was about over here. Hey, ELW Trades, good to see you. Glad you're here. So, yeah, I'm telling you, Electrolux. I couldn't sell a vacuum cleaner. I sold all the stuff, you know, the accessories and the floor cleaning liquid, but I could not sell a vacuum cleaner to save my life. Everybody I went to, and I was licensed for the whole state of Virginia, and I was literally going, 50, 75 miles out, hoping I'd find some dead areas. Everybody I thought, I already had one. One woman had 3 of them. I didn't believe her. She actually brought them out. So, hey, Crooked River and Eastern Dave, how's it going, Crooked Dave? Got Tom Grassi here and his girlfriend Barbara.
Hey, Dave.
So, yeah, me and the vacuum cleaner down there said, well, you need to sell them. You got to push them. I'm going, I'm not going to hold a gun to somebody's head to sell them a vacuum cleaner. If they don't want one, they don't want one. Yeah. I says, I look at it the way I do. If you try to sell me something I don't want, I'll show you the door that quick. I'm not doing high pressure sales. Just not happening. So they didn't fire me, but we couldn't survive. I started running out of money, and I said, it's time to go back to Florida. Hey, Thomas Moore, P&L Railway. How you doing, Thomas? Good to see you. Did you paint that engine I printed for you yet? So anyway, me and Tom, we've been discussing things we can do on my layout. And he came up with some really great ideas that I will be incorporating. So that's a good thing. One of these days I'll have to go up and see him up in Jersey. I don't know when that'll happen, but it might. You never know.
Anytime.
Well, I tell you, I'd really like to go up there to see my old town. I was up there right before I had the stroke. I took the Amtrak up there with my son, and we moved a family friend down from Jersey. She was, I can't remember the name of the town now, but probably about 30 miles south of Carteret. And I said, I want to go over there and check the town out, because I hadn't been there in like 30 years.
Right.
But it was raining really bad that day. She wanted me to drop her off in the Bronx, where her son lived. That was an adventure, let me tell you.
Right.
I just couldn't take the time to stop in and check it out. Plus, I got this 26-foot U-Haul and a car trailer and a Lexus on top of it. So I'm thinking, and I tell you what, well, you know what I'm talking. The roads up there are horrendous. Mm-hmm. New York was even worse than Jersey.
Right.
That's where every toll road I went into, I paid ridiculous money for tolls because they counted the 2 axles on the U-Haul, the 2 axles on the trailer, and the 2 axles on the car, even though they didn't hit the road, which I thought that was a ripoff. So I'm paying like $30 tolls, And the last time I was right over what was it, Washington Bridge, maybe? I don't remember when it goes from New York to Jersey.
Yeah, George Washington.
I get to the toll booth and I say, look, I don't mind giving you the toll money, but why don't you spend it on fixing the damn roads? If I didn't have that BMW chain down, I would have lost it. Right. I mean, if I all through foot deep, right. And you can't miss them.
Right.
What the hell you do with the money?
Right.
But
they're buying people homes. That's
what they're doing something. It sure as hell ain't fixing the roads. Thomas says I have the last golden spike of Canadian Pacific Railroad. How do you know it's the last one?
Golden spike.
That's pretty cool. He says it's from 1885. Thomas, you have amazing collection of spikes.
I want to know how he gets them. Or does he travel all around? Does he just order them online? Or how does he get to his spikes?
Hey, can you answer that, Thomas? I'm kind of curious myself.
Because there's only so many railroads there.
I know. Gerald says he bought a Durango in Silverton NG Railroad spike at the Durango Depot. Yeah, that's right. I remember you talking about that. You said he had a big bucket full of them. 55-gallon drum or something. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I still got the 2 spikes right behind me there that Thomas made for me. Well, I signed them for me, and I've got them hanging on the wall. I still got that screw spike, too. I got it in the drawer. I haven't gotten around to hanging it yet. You ever see that, the screw spike?
Yeah, you should.
That's the weirdest thing. Yeah, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I'd like to see the machine that puts that in.
Yeah.
So, Thomas says it weighs 15 ounces. Is that heavy? 15
No,
ounces?
that's not even a pound.
Yeah, it's kind of light, Thomas. You sure it's gold? It sounds like it's plated and made out of aluminum.
15 ounces isn't very much.
Nah, I go, what, 16 ounces a pound? Or
16 ounces a pound.
Weird. So, anyway. So, like I said, I've been busy mostly hanging the, let me switch cameras here. Wait a minute. This one here. That one's that one. I'm having one of those nights. You can see down there, I've got the first 3 sections up of the second level. And I've got to do the back section. So I'm going to get more wood. And it's actually going to go behind this the third section of the second level back there. It falls short 18 inches from the back wall. So I intend to slide the new second one behind there and tie it both to both walls and the existing second level, so it's going to be very solid. So this way I won't have any, I mean, I'm not going to have any play anyway, but the way I'm designing it makes it extremely solid, and I won't need any shelf supports or brackets on the back wall because both sides of the shelves will actually support it. So that's going to be handy. Plus it gets screwed into the wall too, in all the studs. So I don't know when that's going to happen. If I could find the money to do it this month, I will, which I might. I got to double check my bank account, but if not this month, definitely next month. So we'll see. But remember, this is a long-term project. And, you know, it takes time. And like I said, I'm not in a big hurry. I still got to build the expansion outside anyway. And that's probably going to take close to a year. So this is basically just doing this to get it out of the way. And I can concentrate on getting things placed properly on the lower level, and probably even some stuff on the second level once I put the foam up there. No, I won't need brackets on the back wall. I'll use both side shelves to stabilize it, along with the studs in the back.
Yeah.
So
Once you screw them into the bracket, the pieces go on.
yeah, that's what they'll do. They'll go screwing about that.
Right.
I mean, I'm pretty good at carpentry.
Yeah.
When I want to be.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time that I was always a metal worker. I used to tell people, I said, you give me a piece of steel, I'll make you something. Give me a piece of wood, I'll make you sawdust.
Right.
Because I was really never any good at wood. And my dad wanted me to help refurbish the house. I said, I don't know, Dad, I'm not that good. He said, no, you'll be fine. God knows, I don't know why, but I did a beautiful job renovating the house. It was mostly woodworking,
Right.
you know. So I said, oh, I guess I have a talent after all. Because prior to that, like I said, I was terrible with wood. Give me a piece of steel.
Trim working inside houses, but if you have the right saw, you can cut the angles and get it.
I say, yeah, you got to be good at reading the tape measure, and
Right.
the right tools help too.
Right.
So I've got the chop saw now I bought, and miter saw, whatever you want to call it. It's not a compound miter saw. I should have bought one, because now they got the compound sliding ones.
Right.
It's only $100 more than I paid for that one, you know.
Right.
But I wasn't aware of them at the time. I don't know if they just didn't advertise them, or maybe it's something new. I don't know. So I'm kind of limited to what I cut. Mine is, I think it's a 10-inch blade on it.
Yeah.
So you're really relegated to about 8-inch piece of wood.
Right.
If you got the slider one, you can really do some stuff.
Right.
But I don't do any of that stuff professionally anymore, so I'm not going to do. I used to have a tile saw too, a wet tile saw, and that was actually stolen from me. I loaned it to a so-called friend, and he sold it. And
needed it for drug money.
yeah, more than likely. Thomas says, I got lucky and found the brass railroad spike on eBay. Cool.
Okay.
That's always a good place to find things. 187 wants to know where you're going to get 2-inch foam in the Free Republic of Florida. I won't be using 2-inch. They do have it. It's hard to find. But the pink stuff I get is 1-inch. And that's what I used here to begin with. So if I need 2 inches, I'll just stack it. But 1-inch is fine for up there. There's not going to be any real weight up there or anything. And I said any place where there's a turnout switch, if I have to put a piece of wood in there for support, I could easily add that in, And of course, I'm going to do the LED lighting underneath all the way around. So I have one stretch now that I think only goes 16 foot, so I have to get more. The good news is the setup I've got, you can plug in extra pieces.
Right.
So I won't have to get another power supply. The one power supply will handle like 8 of them or something like that. So that's handy. And the strips, they're pretty cheap. You can buy the strip without the transformer. And it just plugs right into my existing strip. Like I said, I gave a lot of thought to everything I want to do. Not 100%, but close. Of course, as I said, Tom's helped me out with some great ideas on how to fix some of the shortfalls that I either didn't see or wasn't ready to address yet. Hey, Dave, BNSF N Scale, how you doing? I have a guest tonight, and let me change cameras again. I have Tom Grassi and his girlfriend Barbara, and they're down here on vacation. They decided to pop in and visit me. And Tom's been very helpful, so it's been fun. So other than that, I mean, I'm not going to go too much over this because I've already talked for the last 2 live streams already what we're going to do, what I'm going to do. So let's talk about some other things. Anybody got any good subjects on their mind that are train related? Well, I sometimes talk about things that have nothing to do with it. I mean, as off the wall as you can get sometimes, Sometimes it's food, sometimes it's whatever. Yeah, we never. I know it's the politics always come up no matter what, even though we try to not do it.
Sometimes we send you a video.
Oh yeah, one other thing I did do, and I have here is a STL for it. This is only half of it, but this is the new elevated train station, just one half of it. I've made it quite a bit smaller because the other one was really too big for the scale. So I brought this down to more reasonable levels. So together the whole thing is 22 inches long. And I have the right hand side, which is basically the opposite of this. I have flat roofs to go on top of it. The new roof will actually overhang the passenger cars when the passenger cars are in front of the station. And of course, there'll be plenty of benches in there, the soda machine, and God knows what else I could stuff in there, plenty of people. And the new one, I haven't designed it yet, but I had the old one on supports. And this one is actually going to sit on top of a building. So there will be, I don't have to cut a hole in this, but I'm going to have an interior stairway that goes down to the ground floor. And there'll be a small, thinner building underneath of it. And I actually saw this. It was a real life thing, and I think it was in Chicago. I bumped into it on one of the videos I was watching, and I'd never known one to do. I always thought the whole station was elevated. But in this case, they had the elevated terminal, and then an escalator or staircase going down to the lower building for the ground floor. And that I could also stuff with people, maybe vending machines, who knows. So it's going to be pretty cool. It'll be a little bit different and better scaled to what I'm actually doing. And we have Chuck Shriver. Hey, Chuck, how's it going? Good to see you. And Floyd Robbins. Floyd, how's it going? I know you have an Escalator. That works too, doesn't it?
No, I never did.
Oh, you didn't? You didn't do that?
Maybe this time around I might. I don't know.
They have one. That one guy down in Australia, he built one.
Yeah, I've seen a couple videos of some guys that did that.
I can't remember his name now, but yeah, he's got. Well, it's got. You can get the plans for. He's got all the STLs for it.
Yeah.
And it is cool. I mean, it just. I mean, you got to admit, automation is really cool.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
On the layout, I mean, it just brings the layout to life.
Right.
So, even though in the past I haven't been too keen on it, but I think lately I've been saying, you know what, why not? And, I gave Tom an idea for his subway system, which I don't know if he wants to talk about, so I'm not going to mention it. The fans.
What's the what?
The fans.
Oh, the fans. Yeah. No, we can. I found a 3D printed exhaust fan because I saw a subway video, and Train Man 1 was doing a video of a subway system in Norway, I think he said he was, and when he was going through the tunnels, I saw these exhaust fans sitting up along the walls, and I said, let's 3D print some exhaust fans. And then I was having trouble printing the exhaust fans. They didn't come out right, and I called Jim up, and we were talking about it, and I said, I wish they could be electric. So we looked up, and I found electrical fans, and I think they arrived when I was on vacation. So I'll be putting these fans up inside the tunnels, and they'll be spinning around looking like they're blowing out the stuff. So that's coming down the pipe. I got a lot of things going inside the tunnel that I have some ideas for that I want to do. And, we'll see.
We'll be looking forward to seeing them too.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's the thing you got to do. I mean, if you think about it hard enough, and there's usually stuff out there that you could modify or generally use, because that's the problem. My first thought is, how are you going to find a fan small enough? But he found a company where they make really tiny fans,
Right.
For electronics, and they weren't that expensive. I said, that'd be the way to go.
Yeah, I think they were 15 or 20 millimeters by 20 millimeters.
Yeah, they're real small.
Yeah.
And, he said that's the way to go. So now you got some more realism in your subway system, which is totally cool. And, hey, Curtis, see you now, Lines. How you doing, Curtis? I haven't seen you in a while, man. You've been being scarce or what? How's your back doing? I keep wanting to get out there, but I haven't been able to. My truck is down. I think it's a starter problem. I'm not sure yet. I got to do some more investigation. But it won't start, so it just goes clunk. So if I have to replace the starter, that may take some time. But eventually I will get out that way again. Curtis lives about 30 miles from here, thereabouts. He's out in Immokalee, or Everglades. So I've been there a couple of times, and he's got a nice little layout. He's been here a few times too.
Yeah, on the way up to this section, we drove through the Everglades.
Did you?
Came across Alligator.
Alligator, yeah, okay.
Now they changed it to 75, but it's still not.
Well, it was originally Alligator.
Yeah,
Alley.
right.
Just don't hit any Panthers out there.
Right.
5 years prison. Unless you're a state trooper, then you can hit them. Actually, the last 4 Panthers that were killed out there were killed by state troopers.
Really?
And they don't go to prison.
Yeah.
But if you do it, 5 years.
Right. Yeah, I didn't see any Panthers.
I've never seen one out there either, but I figured I probably should be careful what I say.
Why would you?
You would think, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Well, there's no such thing as a Florida Panther.
Somebody put them there.
Yeah, they're originally from Texas,
Yeah, somebody dropped them off.
and for some reason we've got them on the endangered list. I have no idea why.
Yeah, a lot of animals have, pop up in someplace else. That's
Oh,
why they
yeah.
dropped them off into
You know, we gotta grab them all up and drop them off somewhere else.
that. Well, I don't think anybody
H or 187 HO scale says, check out N20 geared motors. They're 3 to 5 volts. Probably the same thing that Tom just ordered.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. N20.
Is it?
That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got ahead of you there, 187.
Yeah.
And Curtis says, Jim hurts and the rain plus dealing with Lisa. Oh, Lisa's cancer? I didn't know that.
That's hard to sad to hear.
I'm really sad to hear that. I'm going to have to come out and see you guys soon. Well, I wish her luck and we have prayers for her. And I hope your back gets better too. I know what you're going through because my back's a mess these days. Not too terribly bad, but bad enough. He says, come here, we have one what? Not sure about that.
One panther.
Oh, you have a panther? We can fix that real quick. All right, John, good to see you. And
Take it easy, John.
have a safe weekend. We'll see you next week. Yeah, panther. I've never seen a Florida panther. I mean, I've seen them in pictures, but never seen one in real life. Many years I've never seen a bobcat either until I faced one. I was tramping through the woods in Naples, and I don't know who was scared more, me or the bobcat.
Right.
I was about this far from him, like walking through, and all of a sudden I see this cat. Holy shit, you know.
Was it big?
Yeah, well, he was about
Yeah,
dog size.
They're about 20 inches tall.
Yeah. But I said, I don't know who's more. He turned around that way, and I turned around this way. So, you know. But it's like.
They're not.
I don't think
Somebody
they're.
brought them in here too.
Yeah. That's the problem. All this stuff is fake.
Yeah.
This camera twist around a little bit.
It's just like disease that's brought in from somewhere else. Too.
I know. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Let's see. Chuck says, just wanted to say, Jim, I have been enjoying your layout mod videos. Be great to see the end result when the time comes. Yeah, it'll happen. I'm not sure when, but hopefully soon. But realistically, I'm kind of figuring out a year. Because as I explained last week, I have a very small budget to work with, plus I have to start putting money aside for my property taxes. If I don't pay those away, it won't matter much.
Right.
So, you know, so really I got to start putting money away, actually next month for the taxes. And like I said, that cuts in my profits a little bit. But slowly but surely I'll get it taken care of. Like I said, I'm going to have to do everything in stages. And of course, you'll get to see it because I'll videotape everything I do to some degree. So that's something to look forward to. And Gerald says in Northport we had a bobcat hissing through the window screen at our cat. That's unusual.
That's too close for comfort.
Yeah, it is. You shoot it? Now they're not protected, at least not here. You can shoot them. Matter of fact, I had a friend many years ago, Rick. He shot one out in the woods, put it in a plastic bag, and begged me to put it in my freezer because his wife wouldn't let him. So I had this dead bobcat. It was a small one. This dead bobcat in my second freezer. I don't know, for almost a year. I said, you ever going to take that cat out and do something with it? Oh, shit, I forgot all about it. Yeah, so he did eventually get it, and I think he had it stuffed or whatever they do to it, taxidermy. So
all the trees we see around here, what kind of trees are they? Are they groves of oranges?
yeah, most of them, the small ones. Now the big trees here are Florida oaks,
Oaks.
like in my yard.
Yeah.
But if you saw the ones out in the field, yeah, those mostly orange trees.
And then they have some of them in plastic bags.
They do that to protect them from the weather.
Yeah, they were smaller ones I saw.
Yeah.
They were in plastic bags.
I think a lot of that was from when it was cold out before. It's
Right. It's not, it's 95 now, so.
Well, yeah, now they're going to cook inside those.
Yeah, right. They're going to fry. Yeah. They'll be catching on fire pretty soon.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Well, if you go down 17 to the right here, and go all the way down to 98, there's nothing but orange field, but they're clearing a lot of them and they're selling off the land.
Oh yeah.
Well, apparently they've
More
had
concrete.
Yeah, they've had such a bad season. A lot of guys are throwing in the towel. So, and there's been a lot of wildfires lately too. So they had a real big one over in I can never remember the name of that town next to south of us. Lake Placid. They had a big fire in Lake Placid that was only about maybe 5 miles from here, south of here. Of course, we had to deal with the smoke for a while, but it was so bad they actually evacuated, I think, 3 or 4 streets. One house was lost in the whole fire.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because the firemen were staring there, watching it burn.
What?
I mean, they had trucks there, and they just stood there watching it burn.
They're saving the water.
Fuck if I know. It was a little weird. I'm thinking, well, this is Sebring, so anything is possible.
I guess.
Yeah. We once we saw a brush fire down in Naples at the school. If I had a fire extinguisher, I could have put it out. That's how small it was. I mean, it was literally a fourth the size of my shed. But I didn't have any fire extinguishers, and we didn't have cell phones back then. So we had to go find a payphone to call the fire department, call 911. By the time they got down there, this thing was like an acre in size. All said and done, they lost over 100 acres, a brush truck, and one tractor. The brush truck stalled out. They couldn't restart it. It went up. And the tractor, I don't know how that burnt down, but I think, what are these guys, a bunch of morons or what,
You wonder sometimes.
Well, I know this is another thing a lot of people don't know about that. Now, it wasn't controlled for it. It was anything but controlled. Unless the objective was to let things burn. But what I found out about the firemen is, and I didn't know this, many years ago I found out because I actually signed up for volunteer fire department. And the paid guys didn't want us. I said, well, they don't want to screw them, But I found out that when they do fires, while the fire is burning, they get hazard pay, which is about 3 times the normal pay. So it's in their best interest to let things burn. The longer it burns, the more money they make. There's no incentive for them to put the fire out. There's more of an incentive for them to let it burn for a while. They get more money, which I think is ass backwards.
Right.
But this is and it's everywhere. This is the way the fire department works.
They should be putting the fire out as fast.
You would think.
Right. Because you could save something out of it.
Well, like I said, when I was a kid, I used to mow lawns, for a living, side money. And I was out in Pine Ridge. This woman, she had a really nice house, and she had almost an acre of land, so I got her to push mow it, right? But I had good money for it. So I'm out there one day mowing the lawn, and she comes running out screaming, I need help, there's a fire. So I stopped what I'm doing, I ran in the house, she had a fire up in the ductwork in the kitchen. I don't even know if it was actually a fire, it was smoke, Did you have a fire extinguisher? No. I said, well, you really should have one, I said, well, I guess you're going to have to call 911 and get the fire department here. So she did. They did about $20,000 worth of damage to her house. And I looked, I says, you could have put that out with a fire extinguisher.
Right.
What are you, a fireman? I said, no, but I got a brain. I said, you destroyed this woman's house. What the hell's wrong with you? I mean, they tore the ceiling down. There was flood damage all throughout the living room and kitchen because they had the hoses in there, They don't care.
Right.
Well, she's got insurance. That's not the point. So after that, he says, I hope I never need the fire department for anything. I'll put the fire out myself. And I have a fire extinguisher in here. I have several in the house. I know how to use them.
That's a good thing.
I mean, I don't trust these people. Oh, they'd probably let my house burn to the ground anyway, Oh, sorry, but you got insurance, right? Well, no, actually, I don't. Can't afford it. So, you know, I'd have to live in the tent that I got in there, assuming it didn't burn down with the house. Or I'd have to kick my mother-in-law out and move in the guest house.
If that one didn't burn down too, right?
Yeah, that's assuming that didn't burn
You
down.
get any water damage from the hoses.
Yeah, right? So, I mean, it's just kind of funny, you know. Yeah, 187 degrees, that's a true fact. And yeah, it is really. I mean, I said I wasn't aware of it till I signed up for a volunteer, and they didn't want us there because they didn't really want anybody that was willing to put the fire out. You know, they basically wanted to, for lack of a better term, dick around with it so they could make extra money. Matter of fact, in Naples, it was about 15 years ago. He was charged with arson. I think he got life in prison for that. He was setting brush fires so he could put them out and make extra money. And he said, I don't know, he said like 20 of them before he figured it out. And they said they arrested him, charged him with arson, multiple counts of arson.
See, they shouldn't have those kind of incentives.
No, they shouldn't.
They should be paid on an hourly rate.
They're given
They're
incentive to
city-
put it
they're
out quick.
City firefighters, right? They're for
Yeah.
city. See, we have volunteer firefighters where I live.
Oh, do you?
So the city should be paid hourly rate, and this is what you get for a shift, whether you fight one fire or 30 fires.
That makes sense.
You know, things that make sense don't make sense for them.
Yeah. So I said, unfortunately, there's a lot of corruption everywhere, and that's what it amounts to.
Right.
There's several things like that are like that. You make more money the more you screw around.
Right.
And that's not the way it should work. There should
Right,
be an incentive
exactly.
to. I mean, look, you put it out in an hour instead of a day, we'll give you a bonus. You know, just for working your ass off. But that's not the way things work. In the real
No, I
world.
mean, I go to work early. I can get more work done in the first hour before anybody else comes in than I do for the rest of the day. Because the rest of the day is all this bullshit, right? And the people that come in supposed to be there at 9:30 in the morning, they get there at 9:45, 10 o'clock. And I don't say good morning to them. I say good afternoon. Okay.
Things we used to do. Hey, how you doing this afternoon?
Yeah.
Good morning.
And my boss, he comes in late, and I say, good afternoon. And he goes, what do you mean good afternoon? It's morning. I said, it's good afternoon to me. And I make believe I look at my watch, you know.
That's funny, but true.
Yeah. So he can't say nothing because he knows I'm right.
And that's the thing, they get away with it. But if you did that, they'd probably,
Right, yeah.
dock you money or something, But that's what I'm saying. I've seen that too in many places I worked at. Because I was always very dedicated to my, whatever work I did, I'd do a good job. And I was usually rewarded well financially. And so when I worked for the AC company warehouse, I was hired on as a truck driver. Well, I started making friends with all the people out there, the workers, the installers. So they say, hey, do me a favor and put this on my order. Well, I learned the business like in 6 weeks as far as parts and what they did, even to some degree what they cost. So they said, yeah, can you get me this and that? Yeah, no problem. I come back, I said I need an order for such and such, They say, well, you're doing pretty good out there. How'd you get promoted to sales? I said, no, they're just friends. I said, they trust me to get their orders for them, and I do it. What the hell? I wound up getting like an extra $2 an hour for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, they sent me out as a bill collector, which I hated.
Yeah.
Because I said, I don't really want to piss people off by
Right.
trying to,
A couple guys come to you with a shotgun when you open the door.
right? But I was cool about it because I've dealt with bill collectors all my life,
Mhm.
I'm not a very pleasant person when you screw with me. But, hey, dude, I said, look, you got a $500 bill. Any chance you could give me some money for that? Oh, yeah, no problem. Cut your check right now. They were really cool about it because they liked me and I treated them with respect,
Mhm.
I didn't say, pay up or we're going to cut you off.
Right.
That's a good way to never get paid.
Right.
So they found out I was really good at collecting bills, so I got extra money for that. By the time I was there for just over a year, I think by the 4th month I was there, I was making almost as much money as the manager. And the other guys on the counter were all pissed off. And they were, how do you rate? And I said, well, I do something.
Right.
As you guys have been here 5, 6, 7 years.
And you don't do
What the hell have you
anything.
done?
Right.
You know. Well, it's bullshit. You're a newbie. You shouldn't get that money. I said, well, you work hard, you get rewarded. I said, you don't do shit. Well, there you are.
Yeah. You get rewarded in a different way.
Yeah, right. So they were not very. They didn't really like me too much. A couple of the guys that were there. I said, yeah, look, dude, it's on you.
Right.
But they brought in a new manager. The manager, it was fun. I didn't even want the job. A friend of mine who was an AC tech, he come over to us and he said, hey, you looking for a job? It's not really. He said, well, they're looking for somebody to drive a truck, for an AC warehouse. Yeah, I'll check it out. I got that. I swear to God, I did the application. Put my name down. What's your address? A house. What's your sex? Often. Yeah. I completely made a mockery. I really didn't want the job, So I handed it in. And the guy, I guess he looked it over. He says, send him in. So the secretary, he wants to see it. So I go in there and he says, you're hired. I go, seriously? He says, yeah. He says, anybody could screw up an application like this, I need to hire. He says, you're a fucking joker, I said, well, yeah, because I really didn't want the job. He says, but can you do the job? I said, look, I've driven truck before. That's not a problem. I've driven 18-wheelers. All this is a straight truck, so no big deal. He says, and I'm good at what I do. I says, if you want to take a chance on me, I'll go to work for you. So, like I said, I think the second or third week was there. I said, I'm starting to take orders because I make friends fast. And he says, yeah, we've never had anybody in here that does this, And we were actually, the main base of operations was at Fort Myers. We were a satellite company. We were the top rated one while I was there for sales, customer service, customer satisfaction, So, like all good things, though, for me, they never last. So they promoted my manager because he was doing so well. And they brought him what we used to call him Colonel Klink. He was German. He didn't look like Colonel Klink, but he reminded me of Colonel Klink. He was an idiot. Well, this guy was a pencil pusher. First thing he does, let's change everything. Now, my responsibility at that point, truck driver, in charge of stock in the warehouse control, taking outside orders, bill collecting, I did all that stuff. Matter of fact, I had keys to the place. I was the first one and usually the last one out, I pretty much run my own show. Well, I don't want you taking care of inventory anymore. I'm going to do inventory. Fine, whatever, I don't care. As long as I don't take any loss, money-wise. He said, well, I think I could do a better job than you. Knock yourself out. So what does this idiot do? And you know what flex is, right? The flex tubing for everything. We had 4 or 5 sizes that actually sold because they make it all the way from 4-inch, I think, up to 24-inch.
Right.
We never sold the 24 because that's for mobile homes. We didn't do mobile homes now. There wasn't enough there. So we had like 4, 6, 8, and 10, and I think some 12. And some of the industrial stuff took the 14.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what to order, what we were using, and I, made sure I always ordered properly. This idiot ordered the whole mess. I mean, a semi-load full of it.
Oh, wow.
I get a call from corporate. What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
I said, what do you mean? He says, why did you order all this flax? I didn't order it. Well, you're in charge of inventory. Nope, not anymore. Colonel Klink took it away from me. Yeah. Hey, I didn't like this guy. He knew I didn't like him. He called me in his office. He said, you don't like me? I said, no, sir, I don't. I think you're a pompous ass. You walk into a business that's running like a Swiss clock and you fuck it all up. I said, I have no respect for you. I'm sorry, but I think you're an idiot. He said, I could fire you. Go ahead. I don't care. I'll go to corporate. They'll fire you and I'll get my job back. Because he tried to blame me for the inventory shit. And when they found out what really happened, you put him on the phone. I don't remember his real name. You put him on the phone. They made him go up to corporate. And I guess they chewed him a new one. And the thing is, we couldn't return this stuff. We were stuck with inventory we would never sell. So they told him flat out, Jim Tedesco is in charge of the warehouse, period. You will not touch it ever again. So, yeah, and they made him come and tell me that. It was funny as shit, I guess you're in charge again, But, well, I mean, he was such an idiot. We had 2 bathrooms in there because we had a female secretary. And her name was Glenda. That was the one that was in the hospital I was telling you about. Well, she got a little pissy for a while there. We had a rule. The men clean their restroom, the women clean theirs. It's fair, right?
Oh.
You know. So we would take turns cleaning the men's room. You know, all the males in there, and that was her job. She didn't want to do it. She goes in, she says, "Can you clean my bathrooms?" No, not my job. My job is clean that bathroom on occasion. Well, can't you do it? No, I'm not doing it. It's your bathroom, you clean it. You trashed it, you clean it. You know. So she went and complained to the boss, Colonel Flink. So he calls me in the office. He says, "You want to explain to me why you won't clean her bathroom?" I said, "Yeah, it's simple. Not my problem. Not my job description. That's her problem, her bathroom. We clean the men's room, she cleans the ladies' room. Well, can't you make an exception?" No. Yeah. I said, "You tell her she needs to do it herself. If she don't like it, she can quit." You know. So he threatened to fire me over it. Go ahead. I said, "I'll just make a phone call or drive up to corporate. They'll be firing you instead of me. You know, I'm not worried. You can't touch me." You know. He was so mad at me, but he did make her clean her own bathroom. She was pissed at me for a long time over that. I don't know why.
So sad.
And why she bugged me? I mean, there was three other guys that worked there. I guess they probably told her to shove it too. She probably figured I'd be an easier target. I don't know, but it was weird. Hey, Tammy and Ray, how's it going? Good to see you here. See my guest, Tom Grassi, and his girlfriend, Barbara.
Hey, Tammy, how you doing?
Good to see you here. She saw you too. Hi, Tom. So, yeah, it was. There were interesting times, but that happened everywhere I went to work when I worked for someone. It started out with the greatest boss in the world. He would either quit or get promoted, and they'd send in another Colonel Flink. Yeah. I mean, I got to the point where I didn't want to work for anybody anymore. Because I'm one of the easiest bosses. I had a kid that I hired, like 19, when I had my automotive repair shop. And I told him, I said, "Look, I'm going to pay you piecework. I'll give you a percentage of everything you do." You know, he actually made more money than I did, but he was good. You know, and I said, "I don't care how you do the job, as long as at the end of the day it's done right, because my reputation's on the line. But if you want to do it standing on your head, swinging your leg around, that's fine. I don't care. As long as it's done properly and you do it at your own speed. The faster you get it done, the more money you make. But it's got to be done right. You screw up, I'll fire you. Because I have no problem with that, firing people." So he worked out. He was really great, and he made me a ton of money. And I was giving him almost $700 or $800 a week. I mean, because like I said, I think I gave him 30% of whatever the profit margin was. But that's the way I was. I've had bosses that would stand over me. I know what I'm doing. They're standing over. "Well, you got to do it this way. You got to do it that." No, I don't. I do it the way that works for me. As long as the end result is fine, who cares? When I worked at the first golf course, I never rebuilt the battery charger for an electric golf cart. I really didn't know much about it, but he sat down and showed me how to do it. But and this guy, he was Canadian. I hate to mess with Canadians, but they really are hosers. Some of them. This guy, he was so specific. There's four major components in a battery charger for a golf cart. You have the transformer that supplies the power. You have a timer for setting the time you want it to charge. There's a diode pack that converts the 12-volt AC to 12-volt DC, or 48-volt DC rather. And then you have the fuse. Those are the four main components. Not much to it. So if one breaks, you've got four possibilities that are going to go bad. Well, he would go through and test every component. Like if the timer wasn't, you'd hear it ticking. If it didn't hear it ticking, you knew the timer was bad. So why did you screw around with the rest of the stuff? The timer's bad, kick it out, put the new one in, you're good to go. 10 minutes, you're done. But he had to do everything in a sequence. It would take him an hour to an hour and a half to service and repair a battery charger. Okay, so I'm watching this, I'm thinking, look, I'm smart enough, I know enough about stuff to be dangerous, So he had 3 or 4. He says, "You think you can do it?" I said, "Yeah, I'll take care of it." So about a half an hour later, I said, "Well, I'm done. What's next?" "How'd you finish them so fast?" "Well, it was simple. One had a blown fuse, two had a bad timer, one had a bad diode back. His transformers hardly ever go bad, and that's you can almost rule that out. And you could hear them hum anyway. "Well, you didn't do it the way I told you." "No, sir, I didn't. I did it the way that it worked for me. I got it done way quicker." I said I took a 4-hour job and done it, half an hour. And they're all working, so what difference does it make how I got there? Oh, he got all pissed off. "Well, that's not the way I taught you." I said, "I don't care how you taught me. I found a better way and I utilized it, I used to get in trouble for everything in that place. That was that one of all millionaires and billionaires living there. It's North Naples, like Bentley Village. Matter of fact, I met the woman, the widow of the Daisy BB gun founder. His widow worked there. She was worth like $100 million or something, People had more money than anything. But Bentley Village, who was owned by Hyatt Corporation, one hand didn't know what the other one was doing. And Bentley, they were stealing everybody blind. I got privy to a lot of this stuff. I saw a lot of things, so I knew things. My boss was stealing parts because I was in charge of inventory for the parts room. And he was stealing tires and stuff for golf carts that they were tricking some of the members into giving them. That's what they do. Like there was one woman, she had a mini stroke right in front of me, slammed in the side of a parked car. I went to help her. She was probably in her 80s. She was all crumpled up in the front of the cart, right? We were told not to touch any of the members. She was in a lot of pain. I said, I checked. I said, "Is anything broken? How much pain are you in?" I did all the things you were supposed to do. She said, I just want to sit up." I said, "All right, I'm going to help you sit up. If you feel any pain, you let me know and I'll stop, because I don't want to hurt you anymore." So I got her up in the seat. Nothing was broken as near as I could tell. I think it shook her up. She hit the thing at like 15 miles an hour, Fucked up that car pretty good. So it cracked the door in. So I got on the radio. We had a hospital on premises. They called it the BCC. I call them up and I said, "I got a woman here. I don't know what happened. She lost control of her cart. She slammed into a parked car. She seems to be okay, but she's a little confused, so you might want to send somebody down here and check her out." So they send somebody down. Meanwhile, my boss calls me. He said, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "We told you not to touch any of the members." I said, "She was in a lot of pain, all crumpled up in the bottom of a cart. It took 10 minutes for you guys to get out here. I was there. I saw what happened. I assessed the situation, and I helped her out. I don't want to hear it. We could fire. Then go ahead. I don't care. I was looking for a job before I found this one, So they didn't fire me. Like I said, I knew too much. I mean, in the end, I gave my 2-week notice because I found a new golf course. The first golf course, Bentley, I was making $10.15 an hour. The second one, they started me off at $32,000 a year. Big jump, and I had more control as a manager. So I said, I'm going to give them 1 week notice because I didn't want to screw around there for 2 weeks. So I went and I said, "Look, I found another job. Here's my week notice. Anything you need to have done, let me know what's important. I'll get it done before my week's out." Well, they were pissed off. "Well, what about you?" I said, "Would you give me 2 week notice if you fired me?" "No." I said, "I'm giving you a week. Take it or leave it. If you want to fire me now, go ahead. I don't care. I already have another job. I could start anytime." So, no, Tammy said hi, Barbara.
Hi.
So, anyway, I said things like that. We were instructed that we had a lot of lakes on the premises, and if somebody was drowning, you were instructed not to help them. I said, "Well, I can't swim, but I would still try and save them." I said, "There's no way I'm going to let somebody suffer or die if I can help them. I don't care what your rules say."
Hello, that's a person.
I know. But they were, like I said, they were real weird. Now, I met, what the hell was her name? She was the daughter of the Hyatt Corporation, the owner of the Hyatt Corporation, Penny Pritchkin. Because I called up and filed a complaint with the company because they said all the stuff that was going down there, and they had no idea. We had $78,000 put aside for a new bus. All right. Another quick story. We had 3 buses. 2 were the mini buses. I think they hold like 30 people each. And then we had a big bus. You know, one of the modern ones, squatted down and everything. Nobody was allowed to drive it because nobody had CDLs. The other ones you didn't need a CDL with. Well, the one was on its last leg. I had the other one in repairs because it didn't run at all. So they took the other one out on an outing. Well, I get a call. Well, we're broke down in the middle of 41 Naples. I said, all right, well, I'll be down there in a few minutes. I'll take the new bus, you know. The old one, there was no other way to get them. So I didn't have a CDL either, but it doesn't matter. Emergency situation, I didn't need one. You know, people's lives are at stake. It's 100 degrees outside. This idiot driver kept them inside the bus with the windows shut. It doesn't run. So I was smart enough. I brought a jug with Gatorade in it, you know, because I figured they're going to start dehydrating. And they're old people, you know. So I get down there. First thing I do, I get them out of the bus, you moron, before they all die in there. You know, I said, here's drinks, cold Gatorade that can rehydrate. So I says, look, I'll stay with the truck. You drive it back. Well, I can't drive that bus. Why not? I don't have a CDL. So what? I don't have one either, but I drove down here. I says, you're not going to get in trouble because it's considered emergency, a medical emergency. You know, you can't endanger your lives by leaving them here. Well, I'm not driving the bus. You're going to have to. Fine, I'll drive the damn bus then. Scariest moment of my life because I've never transported people. I was terrified because I drive like an idiot anyway. And I tell you, that day I drove like a white man if there ever was one. I took curves slow and didn't jump on the gas or the brake because I didn't want anybody to get hurt, you know. So I finally get back. I went right to the hospital there in the thing. And I was on the radio. I said, you know, send somebody out here to assist these people. I said, some of them may be dehydrated. I don't know. The old people, they were thankful. They loved me. They really did, you know. They were thankful that I came down and saved them. And they were pissed off that the driver didn't have a CDL. I was kind of pissed off too. So anyway, we get them all taken care of, and I get a call on the radio from the boss. What the hell are you doing? What are you talking about? He says, you had no authority to take that bus. Well, what was I going to do? Leave them out there to die? There was no other way to get them, you know. I said, you got $78,000 for a new bus. Where's the new bus? Well, you don't worry about that. Well, found out later on what happened to that money. But they read me out, and one of the residents there overheard it. She comes up and says, you even think about firing him, I will sue this place till you're all broke and I own it. If it wasn't for him, some of us might have died. You know? And why don't you get your drivers to get CDLs? I mean, she was up their asses, so they had to back off. Because like I said, these people are millionaires and billionaires, you know. So, it's kind of funny, you know, but this is the things that went. Well, the $78,000 they had for the new bus went to a new Lincoln Navigator for the boss's wife, who also worked there. Okay? I found out about it. He said he's got a brand new Navigator, $78,000, and the money for the bus is gone. So, of course, I questioned it, you know. And I sent the guy to the hospital. I never laid a hand on him. But to start back, his car broke down. My job as a mechanic was to take care of anything mechanical. So my boss, he says, I can't remember the guy's name. He says he was Italian, too, which is funny because I'm Italian. I thought he'd have a little more respect for another Dago, but he didn't.
Right.
So, hey, he says, his window don't work. Can you fix it? Yeah, no problem. I'll come down. I'll get it. So I went down there, got the keys, brought the car back. The window motor was bad. I called up Ford. They had one in stock. I got it, you know. Put it in, brought back the car a few hours later. And, hey, Dundas Junction, James, how you doing? Say hello to Tom and his girlfriend Barbara.
Hey, James.
They're my special guests tonight. So he says he wants to talk, or no, he told my boss he was mad because I didn't fix the window before it broke. I said, all right, I'll take care of it. What are you going to, don't worry about it. I'm going to go take care of it. So I went down there, jumped in my golf cart, went down there, stormed in the office. What does the shirt say? What do you mean? I said, what does it say? It says mechanic. Doesn't say psychic. It says mechanic. I don't know when your fucking car's going to break down. I fix it after the fact. There's no way I could have known that window was going to quit working before it did. What the hell is your problem? I can't believe you talk to me like that. So, well, if you're an idiot, I have to treat you like one. I said, look, if you think you can do better, you can fire me and find somebody else. I fix it. Your car's fixed. What the hell are you complaining about? I don't know when it's going to break. I don't know the next time you're going to take a leak. You going to blame me for that too? So I'm done here, I get back at the car to go back. My boss said, I can't believe you confronted him. I said, well, why not? Aren't you afraid of what? The worst they could do is fire me. I don't care. I said, oh, it does not say psychic on this shirt. So so that kind of started a chain of events with him. So they gave us each a 10-cent raise. Sure, a few months later, and I actually told him, you need it more than I do. This isn't going to do me any good. I don't even want it. Just take it back. So they had a big meeting in the hall, to explain to us why we're only getting 10-cent raises. And they were lying, of course. He comes out, he said, well, he's had all those charts and the bean counters and everything else, right? He goes, well, we're actually in the red this year, so that's why the raises are low. And what? You're lying. I said, you just bought land. You just bought 30 acres across the way there to expand Bentley Village. You're hitting these people. It's $1 million just to get in here that you hold in escrow forever. They keep that money when you die. Plus, you charge them every time they take a leak or whatever the hell they do. Everything's free, sort of. They don't pay for it on the spot. They tally it up, and at the end of the month, they automatically debit the money from these people. They were stealing money. So I said, look, I don't mind that I didn't get a big raise. I said, but I don't like being lied to. Just get up there and say, look, we don't want to pay you more because we think you suck. You're not worth the money. And I won't like it, but I'll respect you for being honest. Don't lie to me with all this bullshit. There's no way we're working in the red. You guys are making so much money, it isn't funny. So don't lie about it. Of course, I had probably 100 of us in there. Guys were cheering me on, And he's like, he got so flustered. He had a panic attack. He thought he had a heart attack, and they had to rush him to the hospital.
That was just his way of getting away from you.
Maybe. My boss said, he's going to fire. I said, I don't care. You guys keep threatening with fire me. Either do it or shut up, And then, like I said, I was saying that the guys in maintenance, they didn't punch a clock. We had to. But they would just write in their times. Well, half of them would go in the morning, spend a half an hour there, go home, come back right before quitting time, sign out. They were getting paid for nothing. Well, I found out about this. This is bullshit. I said, if they don't need a clock, why do I need one? So I kind of approached him. I said, I want to get rid of the time clock. Why? Because maintenance doesn't have it. Yes, they do. No, they don't. They write their times on a piece of paper, and they're lying. I said, I won't lie, but I said, I don't think I should punch a clock if they don't, because we actually got docked if we were 10 or 15 minutes late. They dock us an hour, which found out later on is actually illegal. But
They go home.
yeah, they would go home, take care of business, go get drunk, and they got away with it, which I didn't really care. That's their issue, but
Yeah, but it's a home.
yeah, it is. It's a matter of what's that principle. So somebody else pop it? No. So, and then once again, they threatened to fire me. I said, fire me, go ahead. I said, I'll go right to the lawyer. I will sue you people. Because what's going on here is so legal, it isn't funny. Hey, Derek, you have some great company. Yes, I do. The best around. That's Tom. You know Tom, and this is his girlfriend, Barbara. They're down here on vacation, and they happen to be nearby, so they swung by to, give me a hard time. Not really. Tom's been very helpful, and he's got some great ideas that's really helping me out here. So I'm really happy to see them because, I don't get a lot of company. But yeah, it's just, like I said, they finally did. They did fire me. As I gave my notice in, and the first day I was there, they had a list of all the things they needed done. And I was well on my way starting, and my boss came out. He says, "I want you to stop doing that stuff and work on this golf cart instead." I says, "Well, is it yours or is it the members? What do you care?" I said, "I care everything because if you stole it, I'm not touching it, because that's what he was doing." I said, "You prove to me it's yours, and I'll work on it, Otherwise, I ain't touching it." "I'll fire you." "Go ahead." I already quit, basically. So they did. They fired me for refusing to work on a stolen golf cart. And I mean, it was a joke. They had security come in, actually escort me off the premises, and told me I couldn't come back. I said, "Well, that's where you're wrong. I have several friends that are members, and if they call me and want me to visit them, you can't stop me." And I did have a couple, and I did go back there a few times to visit some of the friends. But they were crazy. My friend's brother worked there, Vito, and he was in there. He had to quit because they had a rule you couldn't take any gratuities from the customers. I did because I felt it was what's the word for it? An insult to not accept their money.
Well,
Because a lot of times I had to break into cars. They'd lock their keys in the car, but the engine's running. I knew how to get in without screwing up anything, so I'd break in the car and they'd hand me $20. I'm not supposed to take this. You're taking the money. Okay? One of the guys that Vito defriended, he died. Left him $7,000. They found out Vito took that money, and they says, "You have to turn that over to us." He says, "Screw you, I ain't turning you over nothing. This man willed me the money, it's mine, I don't want to hear any money." "Well, you're going to have to quit then." So we quit. With $7,000 richer,
why would they do? Because
they wanted to pocket the money.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
The first week I was there, this old lady come in. I turned out I befriended her, but she came in with a pair of sandals, like tongs or whatever you call them, flip flops, and she pulled the thing out of the sole.
Yeah.
"Can you fix this?" "Yeah, I can fix that." I said, "You can come back, get them in a few hours, or I can deliver them to you, however you want." He said, "No, I'll come back." So I got to work on it. I fixed them. They were just like new. So she came back. She said, "I can't believe you did such a nice job." That's what our job is, to make all you happy, and that's what I was told. Make the customers happy, the clients. So the next day, she brought over I think it was around $100, $100 bottle of men's cologne, a nice thank you card, and $20.
No.
They weren't going to let me have it. Well, she made such a stink about it that they had to back down. I said, "I'm not really allowed." She said, "I don't want to hear that.
Somebody
want to
wants
repay you
do
for helping."
something for you.
Exactly. I didn't charge her. And that's something we couldn't do. We couldn't charge them for anything But I had one guy. He had a diesel pickup truck. They have two batteries in them. Both batteries were dead. Took a while to get them charged up and jumped off, but I took care of it. And I handed me $50 for about a half hour's work.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to. You take the money. I don't want to hear about it. Yes, sir. Like you said, to not take the money would have insulted them and probably pissed them off. I mean, these guys are millionaires, so there was a couple of billionaires in there. One woman died. I found her. They would go in there and clean them out. They weren't supposed to, but they did.
Yeah.
Anything of value. Well, they threw her checkbook in the trash can. We used to go dumpster dive to see if there's anything good in there. I found her checkbook. $25 million in the back. And no heirs. I don't know who got the money.
Oh.
But $25 million balance. Jesus Christ, she almost ran out of room for the zeros. But they were all very wealthy. I mean, like I said, the one woman I made friends with, she was the widow of the Daisy BB gun founder.
Yeah.
She was worth over $100 million. And I know there were a couple billionaires. I never met any of them, but they said that there were. But a lot of people there were founders of common things, that just buy it out because they're old. But Bentley Village, they made a killing off these people. They treated them like shit. They really did. And it's very unfortunate because, if I were in charge, it would be vastly different. But that's the way it goes. Now you've heard my story. I'm taking up the whole show again. Let's see what we got. What's that?
Tom's Trains and Things. Is he in here?
Is he with Tom? Did he come in here? With?
I didn't see him pop up.
I didn't either. I think he's thinking you're Tom's Trains and Things. Wrong Tom there. No, it's not Tom's Trains. It's Tom Grassi. Up in New Jersey. Tom's Trains and Things. He's still on vacation. I think he's on his way back to Florida. But he took a month-long vacation up north. He went to Maine, New Jersey, I think, Pennsylvania, Connecticut. He's like touring the whole East Coast. And I thought he was going to be back yesterday to do his show, but he didn't quite make it back yet. So maybe next week we'll be back on his Wednesday show. Derek, you know better. You know who Tom Grassi is. Does he look like Tom from Tom's Trains and Things? He's missing the mustache or the beard, and the mustache.
I don't know who's older, man.
Thomas. He's well into his 70s. He told me I think he was maybe 76, maybe I don't remember. He looks good for his age. I mean, realistically. What you're younger than me, right?
I'll be 69.
Oh, you're older than me. Okay, that's right. Because you're retiring. That's what throws me off. Because
you're retired already.
Well, I had to, but I'll be 65 in September.
Yeah.
So I'm 64 right now. I feel like an old man. But come September, I'll be an official old fart.
Right.
Because you have to be 65 to be an official old fart for men. I don't know what women happen, but So I belong to the not so rare club of old farts because most of these train guys are well into their 60s and 70s. So I'll get to join them. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But
and we got a younger crowd though.
Yeah, those guys are pretty young.
They're in their early 30s or 40s.
That Gerald says he's missing the Doritos. Tom, quit eating Doritos. Turns out they're bad for you.
Yeah. You always had a bag of Doritos.
I know. He got me. I was buying them for a while, and I kind of quit buying them because I kept reading that they're really bad for you. And I'm supposed to be on a low salt diet anyway.
Right, they have a lot of salt.
Yeah, lots of salt.
A lot of salt.
That sodium count was like 90%, right?
Yeah, something like that. Well, hey, he was getting them ones that they actually took off the market, the hot ones.
Yeah.
They
I
actually
eat hot stuff, so
they took them off the market because there was something wrong with them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, nowadays everything's getting recalled anyway.
Right.
Yeah, they're recalling spices for Christ's sake. What can go wrong with a spice?
Right.
I mean, some of it I read. A lot of it's Listeria or E. coli, which is a handling issue that they won't address.
Right.
We know what's happening. It's called the illegals.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Hey, listen. The Middle Easterners don't wash their hands that well. They wipe their asses with their left hand. They eat with their right. No, I'm serious. You can ask them. This is the truth. They don't use toilet paper. They don't believe in it.
ew.
They use their hand. That's why. Listen, the worst thing you can do to a Middle Easterner was cut off their left hand, which they would do if they were caught stealing. Now they had to wipe their ass with the right hand, the same hand they eat with.
They should just get a bidet.
Yeah, they don't use bidets, but they should.
That's where the saying came from. Be a man, use your hand.
I never heard that one, but if you say so, I'm not going there, right?
Maybe that's where that came from.
Even when I was out of paper, I'd find something.
Right.
Always thought, be a man, use your
No,
hand.
I'm not using my hand. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. And there's reasons why. And these same people are working in all the food plants. A lot of Middle Easterners, a lot of Mexicans, Latins. Now, in Mexico, their toilets can't handle paper. They use paper, but they put it in a trash can.
Yeah.
We had that problem with the golf course. My boss walked into the restroom one day and he came right back out. He says, "Man, the stench in there is terrible." I said, "Well, because they don't flush the paper." "Why the hell not?" He says, "Their plumbing's bad." "Well, they're not in Mexico." "Yeah, I know, but nobody tells them this stuff." So we had to actually get them all together.
And
We had about 30 of them working for us, groundskeepers, and explain to them that in America we flush the paper. And they were like, "Oh, that's not right." "Yeah, it is. This ain't Mexico. We have actual real sewage systems here, and you can flush the paper. It's biodegradable." And they started doing it, but we literally had to teach them to do it. I mean, not that far, but and they would do that. I mean, when I had my shop, we had a community bathroom in the complex. We didn't have our own bathroom. Same problem. We had a lot of Mexicans working there. Not me, but other businesses. You go in the bathroom, the flies, the stench. My Indian friend, he spoke read Spanish. So I said, "Jesse, I need a sign. Can you translate? Please, you flush the paper after you use it, and put it in Spanish, and I'm going to hang it right in front of the toilet." And I did. And it was a big sign. And they finally started doing it because it was so bad. And first off, the food they eat.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad to begin with. I mean, I once bought a car. I hope there's no Mexicans on the show here. But I once bought a car from a Mexican woman. It didn't have, well, I made a mistake. I didn't check to see if it had air. It didn't have factory air in it, but I bought the car for $25. And it was a decent car. I mean, it was, other than the fact it didn't have air conditioning, it was actually a nice car. It was a Buick, which is not the Skylark, the other one, but a new one, like in the 90s. Can't remember now. I had to leave that car open for a week to get the smell out of it. It smelled like a Mexican dinner in there. Tamales, tacos. I mean, it was disgusting. And this was a problem I found with a lot of their vehicles because of what they eat. They exude it. It goes through their skin. That's what they sweat. I mean, they stink. They really do. And after that, I kind of quit buying their cars because it's too much of a problem. De-smell them, so
Right, yeah.
Deodorize them or whatever. So Dwight says, "Has the guest had a chance to say anything?" I know I'm taking over here. I should let them guys
okay.
talk.
We get our words in every once in a while.
If you have a question for Tom, by all means, ask it. I ask you guys if you have any questions. Now's the time to ask them. Then I won't have to sit here and yak for everybody. No, you guys aren't doing your job. Ask questions. Don't be shy.
Let's see, where's JD? He's the one that always tells you how many likes and people in here. Right?
He usually comes in late. Yeah. He'll probably be here by about 1:45, maybe. Now, some of the guys, they do come in late. I don't know if they plan it that way or what. I don't care. There's really no such thing as being late coming in.
No, there isn't.
That other guy, what's his name? He has a saying. He says, "I'm never late. I'm always there when I'm supposed to be."
Right. Exactly.
I don't think I probably hashed that up bad, but it makes sense the way he puts it. It's like one of those Klingon sayings or something from Star Trek.
Right.
Ray 187.
Oh, I know why he's not on. He just posted a video.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, JD.
Well, he'll probably still be on at some point. There's a few guys will come in right before I, wrap it up. It happens, and they do it to Dave too this morning. 3 guys came in right as he was Bernard C. He came in like right as Dave was saying goodbye. Yeah. Hey guys, why do you wait so long? So anyway, I don't really have much to talk about train-wise tonight because, like I said, I've covered everything. I don't have anything new to show just yet. Maybe next time. But me and Tom mostly been talking. We talk some about trains and some other stuff because that's what we do. Like you guys, a subject comes up, we'll run it in the ground because we have to. At 187. Were you out for a while or what? You just back in now? Hey, Fultz Bailey, Rick, how you doing? Good to see you.
Hey, Rick.
Say hi to Tom and his girlfriend Barbara. They're visiting. Isn't that cool or what? He's usually not here. That's the first time he's been here for a while.
Busy boy.
Well, a lot of guys are doing a lot of stuff on their layouts.
Yeah, it's getting summertime and vacation and stuff.
That's true. I haven't had a vacation in what, 12 years?
Yeah, this is my first going away vacation in a long.
That's it. What am I going to get a vacation from? I'm already on vacation permanently.
Right.
Yeah. I miss working too, by the way. Let's see. 187 said, "Yeah, I got drafted to make key lime cookies."
Oh, that sounds like a good draft.
And Gerald said, "Yum." And Rick says, "Yeah, I know that guy. Hi, Tom. Hi, Barbara." It's always good to get visitors. I don't get them often. Curtis goes, "She's hot. He's okay. LOL." First compliment of the day for you, right? I'm sure Barbara appreciated that.
I'm not in no beauty contest here, Curtis.
And that's a good point. Well, I'm certainly not anything to look at, so those days are long gone. The one thing nice about women, they hold their beauty a lot longer than we do.
Yeah.
That is really not true.
Oh yes, it is.
No.
Y'all don't see it, but we do. I see a lot of older women. I mean, really older women. I remember years ago, I was walking down the road. I don't remember. I think I was going out to hitchhike or something, but there was this woman in front of me with most beautiful blonde hair down to her butt. Nice shape to her. I thought it was a young woman. Right? So I go to talk to her. Turns out it's not even a woman. It's a guy. Yeah. Oh, no, I thought you were somebody else. Sorry, and I walked off, From the back, he looked like a beautiful woman. So after that, I never made any
advances
till I saw her face,
Right.
Every time I've walked around New York City, that's what I see.
Sure.
They turn around with a full beard and mustache.
I know. Well, I used to wear my hair down to my ass too when I was a teenager.
Yeah, but they got dresses and high heels. And...
No, I was in men's clothes, but I mean, if you weren't paying attention, because a lot of the women wore jeans back then, just like I did.
Yeah.
And I probably said I wasn't fat or anything. I was pretty skinny. I probably could have been mistaken for a woman from the back.
Yeah.
But because my hair was beautiful. I mean, I usually wore it in a tail. But when I started mechanicking, I found that was a really bad idea.
Right.
Because I heard a couple guys actually getting their tails caught in the fan
That
working on a car, and
Right. That's.
it can mess you up real bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, yeah, it's time to get the haircut. So now I can't stand long hair. You see Vinny the other day? He's doing it. His hair is down here, man.
Vinny?
Yeah.
Vinny, the BNSF.
BNSF 69, 52.
Right, whatever.
Hey, Vinny, get a damn haircut. He's funny. I like watching him, but he's not ashamed to have his hair long, which is kind of weird, I mean, it's just his business what he does, but mine was long for a while. I remember last year, I kept saying I'm going to get it cut, but I had a barber down in Bonita Springs. She does a really good job. Her name's Donna, and I've been seeing her for years. I came up here. I couldn't always get down there to go cut my hair. It's a 100-mile drive,
Yeah.
So I was kind of waiting to go down there, but I really didn't have. I would try and combine it with the doctor's visit. I still have my cardiologist down. He's good. Trusting these bone ends up here. So I couldn't get down. I finally had to break down and get it done locally because it was so long. It was driving me nuts. It was hot. I said, I can't do long hair anymore. Just can't do it.
If I was a guy and had pretty hair, I would keep it.
No, you wouldn't. Not if it gets hot and bothersome.
Yeah, you just put it up in a hair clip.
That would be weird.
Right.
Why?
It wasn't quite. I mean, I had a tiny tail, I could do,
Yeah.
but a real tiny one, and that was okay. But it wouldn't stay because there wasn't enough there.
Yeah.
And as far as putting it up, like Deb puts her hair up, looks fine on her. It would look weird on me.
I don't have any hair to put up, so I don't have to worry about
Yeah, there you go. Now, see, Gerald says we don't look good naked anymore. There's a song about it. Have you ever heard the song?
No, I never heard that.
Yeah, some country boys. I don't look good naked anymore.
Oh, maybe.
It's really funny. Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, he's big. He's like bigger than I am, and
Yeah.
I don't know. Curtis says false. I call it as I see it. Yeah, there you go. Big Jim in a man bun. LOL. No, you'll never see that. I absolutely refuse to wear a man bun. I don't care what's going on. Ain't happening. I saw a guy around here recently had a man bun. I go, you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
You know. Call me old fashioned if you want, but there's just it's like men with purses. You know, they don't call them purses, but it's a purse.
Right, it's a purse. Exactly.
I won't be caught dead with one of those either.
Yeah, but you live out here in pretty much nowhere. There's not much around here.
Well, in town it's a little different.
Yeah, in town. Right.
Here you're not going to see
Here
it.
you're like in a rural.
Yeah, this is rural. Said my next door neighbor Randy, he's kind of old school.
So when you go to town, you need to get yourself a purse.
I don't think so. Actually, we told me to get a damn skirt with it too.
Right.
That ain't happening either.
Right.
Yeah, my sister's late husband, he was Scottish by birth or blood. He wore a kilt all the time. He loved his kilt, and they don't wear anything underneath them.
Yeah.
No, I might tell you different, right?
I said, dude, why are you wearing a? I mean, I knew what it was. Why are you wearing a skirt? You look like a fag, you know.
Right.
It's a what did I say it was?
Kilt.
A kilt. It's a kirt, man. It's part of my heritage. I said, it's a dress. I don't care what you say.
Did he play the bagpipes?
No, he couldn't play that. I
See,
mean,
I've
that's a
seen
very
guys that play bagpipes and they wear it.
well, you have to, because you know. But that's one of the hardest instruments to play. For
I was going to say, they're not easy.
Yeah. If you give me a set, I'd probably clear a city block with them.
Yeah.
I'm not very musical inclined anyway, but what's this train, man? Mickey says, you know, I'm sick of following my dreams. I'm just going to ask where they're going and hook up with them later. Yeah, good one. I like that.
Yeah.
That's funny. He does some pretty good dad jokes too.
Yeah. Mickey, yeah, some good videos too. I see.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it's true though. You know, like I said, there's a lot of things that are weird that I understand. They're customary.
Right.
But I'm not. I mean, Italians were a little different. You know, I mean, we don't do anything too weird. I don't think. That's what I'm aware of. You know, I mean, the men are men, the women are women. I know Italian women have a hard time finding their own bed a lot of times.
Right.
You know, and the men are just as bad in some cases. You know, but other than that, we don't really do anything weird that I'm aware of. Even the mafia has rules.
Exactly.
You know.
You do anything weird? You wouldn't admit to it if you did.
Crazy stuff. Yeah.
Well, we've all done crazy things.
No weird stuff. Crazy stuff.
If it wasn't for the crazy, I tell you, I don't know how I survived half the stuff I went through. You know, compared to today, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that. We didn't have any safe. We didn't wear helmets.
No.
We didn't wear seatbelts.
Right.
You know, I remember the only time I actually got hurt. My dad made it was a little red wagon I had, and the school was at the top of a hill, so we drug it up there, and I decided to race down it there. You know. Well, the problem is they don't have brakes, which I didn't think about at the time until it was too late. Well, I hit the curb when we got to the bottom. You know, the handle, so you can see it. Is this eye? It left a scar where the handle hit me in the eye. And it wasn't a big deal. I mean, I had to wear a little butterfly stitch for a while. You know.
Yeah.
My mom was so mad. What the hell's wrong with you? You know, you can't do it. I didn't think about it. You know, it looked like fun at the time, and I realized about halfway down I had no way to stop. I couldn't turn, So he crossed the. I mean, there were kids down there at the bottom. They should no traffic would come, so he didn't get killed. But there was still a curve there that I didn't really think about until it was too late. And I stopped pretty damn quick. And then I had the handle, and my hand slipped off the handle. Handle hit me right up here by the eye. Another inch, it would have probably took my eye out.
Did it bleed a lot?
A little bit, yeah. Actually, a lot. Like, oh, I got hurt, Mom. What the hell's wrong with you? They rushed me down to the emergency room. You may need stitches. Oh, man, I don't want stitches. Well, we'll give you a butterfly stitch instead. I've stitched myself. I'm actually a very good doctor. I really am. My oldest daughter, she was 4 years old at the time. They were playing out in the back of the property markers so that the metal rebar. She fell on it right here. Missed her private parts by about 2 inches, but it gashed her.
Still hurt.
They said at that time they were looking for child abusers.
Yeah.
Kid got hurt, you're probably going to jail. All right, bring her in. My wife trusted me because she knew I was good at what I did, and I stitched her up. And to this day, there's no scar. But I was about that long of a cut. Put it together, stitched it up. Oh, I don't remember. I couldn't give her any painkillers. She had to do it.
Isn't there a vein or artery that goes in your legs?
Yeah, if you hit it, you bleed out.
On Dexter, there was a guy that would slice the women in the bathtub.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, you got two major arteries that go down your leg. There was a guy robbed a store many years ago in Naples, East Naples, and the woman, he tried to kidnap her baby. It was a baby cart. She had a .357 Magnum. She shot him in the leg. He bled out and died. She hit the artery. Yeah. They said he was dead in like 2 minutes. So, but she didn't get in any trouble because, like I said, he robbed the store and was going to take the baby with him.
Yeah.
So,
don't mess with someone's baby.
No, not a good idea.
No.
When I was babysitting the house for a guy out in, I can't remember the name of the place now. It was a small area in East Naples. It was really bad. The first night we were there, black guy kidnapped a white woman, raped her, and took her baby. So I didn't even know hardly anybody out there. They're going door to door. You want to help us out? Well, what's going on? I said, we're going to catch us a rapist. They said, caught me in, So I went out there. We didn't have any guns, but a couple of guys had baseball bats and stuff, We found the guy. Beat the shit out of him. Called the cops. They came and got him. Nobody got in trouble. I mean, they had to hospitalize him. We beat him pretty bad. Got the kid back. The woman pressed charges, but that didn't happen again after that. Word got around what happened, and nobody wanted to go there. And that's what needs to be done.
That's right.
But, hey, Artie, what's going on, man?
Hey, Artie.
Yeah, Gerald says it's not the fault that hurts, it's the rapid stop at the end. Damn right. Falling is never a problem. It's the landing that's the problem. Although that's not always true. I watched 2 men fall to their deaths out in Marco Island on separate occasions.
Yeah.
They're working the high rise. They used to get high and go up there. Stupid.
Right, yeah.
One guy was higher than the kite he had been. He had a 2x6 hanging over the edge with a bunch of cinder blocks out. He walked out on the end of it while he was heavier than the cinder blocks.
Down he went.
Screamed all the way down until he hit bottom.
Didn't scream no more.
Well, yeah, he died, obviously, but he did. The second guy fell off. He lost his footing or something. It was about from 9 or 10 stories. He stopped screaming about halfway down. He figured he died or passed out. But the first guy, he screamed until he hit. And where did he land? Pile of rebarb. It was a mess.
Mm-hmm.
But, I always thought, why would you get high or drunk and go stand on something that high?
Right. No.
How dumb can you be,
Right.
And then one guy said, I don't know what the hell he was doing. He must have thought he could fly or something. I go stand on a 2x6 hanging over the head, 10 stories up, Knock yourself out, man. Derek says, Big Jim, it's great that you brought out the nice stories for company. Yeah, well, what can I say? Is it raining where you're at already? We've been having some crazy rain here. It's been raining for like 20 hours straight, off and on. I'm not sure how much inches we got. No, down in Naples, he said 3 to 5 inches.
Yeah, someplace got 8 inches.
Really?
Yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know what town it was.
We probably got 2 here, but we don't flood here because we're higher up.
Right.
And the way the lay of the land, it would flood down there in the woods. We don't care.
Right.
You know, even that hurricane when Ian came through, came right over the house, and there was a lot of rain, a lot of wind. No damage to anything here, but it did clean out the trees for me. You know, the loose branches. I mean, we came out the next morning, it was brush everywhere.
Right.
That's like 16 truckloads of brush. So we had to pick it up and take it to the street. Then they picked it up from there, but nothing was damaged. But North Pinion, up where Tom lives, he was lucky he didn't get any flooding. But his neighbors, they got flooded. There were a few houses that were, 2 foot underwater. And of course, they were right next to the lakes, too, and the lakes were all high. So I'm glad we didn't move down there.
What's that body of water around Sebring called?
Oh, the big one? That's, damn it.
Is that a gulf? Or is it a...
No, it's a lake.
Lake?
It's the biggest lake in this area. It's Lake, I can't remember now. There's a lot of lakes around here. There's small lakes.
That was a pretty good size one.
That's the biggest one. It's Lake. Damn, I can't remember now.
Not Lake Sebring.
No. We have some weird ones here. It's just south of us. There's another fairly good lake. It's called Lake Ipstacoga or something like that. It's a weird name. Who the hell names these things?
Yeah.
But I can't remember the lake now. Hey, Deb would know because she remembers stuff better than I do. I'd like to go out there boating one day, but I've got the inflatable, which I'd be tempted. It's a 14-foot inflatable. It's huge.
Right.
The reason I bought it is because when Irma hit down there in Naples, we were in that.
Yeah.
And, well, my wife was scared to death because I don't leave for hurricanes as a rule. If I leave, it's not going to be good. But I didn't think it was going to be a big deal.
Lake, she put it on the chat.
Lake Jackson, there you
Lake
go.
Jackson.
Thanks, Deb. Good one.
You rock, Deb.
It wasn't Okeechobee. That's a different lake. That's further south, Gerald. That's a big lake, too. But no, this is Lake Jackson. It's still pretty big.
Yeah,
it's a good place to go to.
It's a pretty big lake.
Yeah, it is. 187, I don't know where Ginny Springs is. So I couldn't tell you the distance. Curtis says she beat me to it.
Ginny Springs?
Ginny Springs. You know where that is?
No,
I don't know.
I can find out.
They got a man in charge here. He's going to check it out. So, anyway, the water, my house was elevated a little bit, and we weren't not in a flood zone. But the news was on. They were saying they were talking about 20-foot surges.
Oh.
We're a mile from the water, So I'm thinking, nah, it's not going to happen. The hurricane's not in the right place. We're not going to get that kind of tidal wave. Deb said, we die. I would be pissed. I said, no, you'll be dead. But, we'll be fine. Don't worry about it. But we didn't have any way. I can't swim. So if we did get underwater, I'm dead. That's all there is to it. So afterwards, I did buy the inflatable boat, and I have it just in case.
Yeah.
As if things get deep, blow up the boat. I mean, it's 14 foot. It's huge. Me, Deb, and the dogs, we can all fit in it. Maybe throw some guns in it.
Did he spell Ginny right? Because I got Ginnnie Springs.
Yeah, it probably is with a J, or G rather.
Well, it's 182 miles from here.
182 miles, Derek. Or 187, excuse me. That's pretty far away. That's like on the other side of the state, isn't it? North?
I don't know. We went 118 miles to get here today.
From where?
From like Tampa area.
Oh, Tampa. Is that far, really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize you were.
Miles, yeah.
I know the width of the state is roughly 130.
Yeah.
But if you're coming down at an angle, it's obviously going to be more. But
Springs.
yeah, Pinellas Park. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway, it was up for I was up there a couple of years ago for a train show. I went up with Tom, the other Tom, and I didn't realize we were on the road that long. Yeah, like I said, when I'm not driving, I really don't care, you know. But so anyway, the water came up 6 inches in the front porch, but it was 12 inches to get into the house. So I had a yardstick out there. I was getting a little nervous, you know, thinking, shit, this is coming in quick, you know. And then it was like, in no time, it was up to 6 inches. I go, if it gets to 12, we may be in trouble, you know. If nothing else, it's going to get in the house. So Deb's going, I'm going up in the attic. I said, there's die up there. You can't get through the roof.
Right.
You know, I said, you're better off just trying. She can swim. I said, you're better off just swimming out and finding something tall to hang on to.
Right.
You know, I said, me, I guess I'm dead. No big deal. I can't swim. I really can't. People tried to teach me. I've tried to learn. I just do not float. And they said, no, that's not wrong. Everybody floats. I don't float. Can't do it. Well, that's what they say. Maybe that's the problem. I tense up too much.
You can't type with no hands.
Who said that? I can't type. I can't type with hands, man. You know, hunt peck. I used to be able to type 40 words a minute. And I don't know what happened. Oh, there it goes. I was wondering how you did that without typing. Oh, yeah, because Deb uses my name because she doesn't have her own account, her channel name, so she uses mine. It's easier. But she's actually on the house computer, so that's how that happened.
Well, you should give her a YouTube account, then she can become a member, and you get another member.
I know. I don't know why she doesn't do it. She doesn't get on here very often.
I
so,
know, yeah. Every once in a while I saw
Yeah, the first time she did it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell's going on?
Really? I didn't type that. It's my wife. So anyway, after it went down just as quick. It never got over 6 inches. But they were talking 20-foot tidal surge. It's not possible. The only way that would happen is if Irma came up the west coast. It was coming straight up the middle of the state.
Yeah.
And I knew it was going to die out before it got to Naples End, which it did, more or less. But, like I said, fear porn. You know, they try and scare you.
Right.
Good job on Deb, you know. But I really wasn't all that worried too much. I figured, like I said, if worst comes to worst, well, I'll either learn how to swim or die, you know. I suppose if you really have to, you figure it out. I had a friend who couldn't swim. We were dirt biking down the side of Airport Road, and there was a big canal. It was about 30 foot deep, 20 foot wide. He hit a rock, threw him off the bike in the canal. I was riding in front, and the semi, he's blowing the horn. He's going, you know, oh shit, where's Wayne? You know, I turn around, bike's on the ground. I can't find him. Oh shit, he's probably dead. You know, son of a bitch learned how to swim that minute.
Yeah.
He swam up out of it, and he says, you know, I thought I was dead. All of a sudden, I knew how to swim. I said, well, you know, sometimes you just do what you got to do. But
Right.
I said, what the hell happened? He says, hey, he did hit something, hit a rock or something. He was a bloody mess. So there was about a quarter mile down the road, there was a 7-Eleven. So I said, I'm going to go get some bandages. You wait here, you know. Went there, got some bandages, came back, cleaned him up, wrapped him up. He was good to go.
Bike was okay?
Well, it knocked the seat off of it, but that was about it. He didn't really want to ride it. I said, dude, you have to ride. It's a long walk home. You know, about 10 miles. So you're not going to be able to walk it back home, so you're just going to have to ride it. I'll ride behind, you know, we'll ride slow. It really scared him, it really did, you know, but he's dead anyway. But he had a heart transplant.
Yeah.
26 years old. Idiot did an acid trip. Was on acid for 3 days. Because nobody knew where he was, you know. Calls me up on the phone, he says, you got to come get me and take me to the hospital. I said, where are you? He said, I'm over here at somebody's house. And I said, all right, what's going on? He says, I think there's something wrong with my heart. So I went down, got him, took him to the emergency room. They said, you didn't need another heart. He had a congenital heart problem that wouldn't have affected him until he was like in his 70s. The acid sped it up.
Oh.
They said, your heart's failing. You got it. So they put him on the list. A year later, he got one. Some kid on a motorcycle died. Was 20 years old. He got the kid's heart. and he had nothing but, and this was many years ago, but he had nothing but problems with the heart. He managed to, he lived 7 years. Yeah. And then they think he just gave up, and one night that was it, he was done. And, but there's something everybody has that you naturally fight. Yeah. It's some sort of an infection or something. We all have it. Mm-hmm. But your immune system, see, in order to, and that's another reason why I don't want transplants. They have to kill your immune system. Otherwise, you'll reject the part they put in you. Right. His immune system was so weakened, he got this infection. 2 weeks in the hospital, happened to him twice. If you don't go to the hospital, you die, because normally we fight it off naturally. Right. So he had so many problems. Of course, they told him he needed to lose weight. He didn't. Still drinking, still smoking, you know. Now, I don't have a problem with cigarettes if you're in decent health, but in his case, he should have quit, you know. Yeah. He wouldn't do it. Still smoking pot. Wouldn't do acid anymore. What the hell's wrong with you, you know? Man, there's days I just don't want to live anymore. I swear, what to tell you.
Don't do acid for 3 days straight.
Well, it was stupid, but he did. A lot of acid, I think. Yeah. I've never touched it. I was scared of that stuff. The only thing I ever did, I smoked pot, and I used to do the prescription speed. But I didn't do it to get high. Yeah. I did it to stay awake and to be more productive. You know, but if you were 5 pounds over your ideal weight, they give you a script for what we call on the street black beauties. Yeah. I don't remember what the technical name was for it, but they were cheap. You get a bottle for like $5, you know. Oh. So you'd sell half of them and then you keep the rest for yourself. I mean, you could get high off them, I guess, but I didn't like getting high. Yeah. You know, I don't get drunk for the same reason. I don't like being drunk. I enjoy drinking, but I stop before I get to that point.
You know? Yeah, I normally do too. Sometimes I forget.
Hey, good night, 187. Thanks for popping in. Have a good weekend, a safe one, and we'll see you next time. Yeah, I've always been, I'm sort of a control freak in that respect. And because I've seen so many drunks and dumbasses. Yeah. You know, we used to have parties, and right after I got married, friends would throw parties every week at their house. We were always invited, so we go have a couple of drinks, you know. Well, there's this one kid, he was probably 18 or 19 years. I call him a kid even though he wasn't. He would get so trashed he'd pass out halfway through the party. Yeah. Of course, you know what we did to him, right? Got the makeup out, got him in a dress, loaded him up in the car, and literally rolled him in a ditch in front of he lived with his parents. He rolled him in a ditch in front of his parents' house. Every week we did this, and every week, you know, the next day, you guys are assholes, I get drunk again, I pass it.
But whatever. He still did, right?
But he still did. And I swear his parents must have thought he was as gay as shit, right? Because, I mean, the girls would make him up. He had lipstick, mascara, eyeliner, the whole 9 yards, you know, and we'd put a dress on him, you know, and send him on his way, you know, bra stuff, his bra with toilet paper. It was terrible what we did. And I always said, I will never be that guy. Not ever, you know. Right. And I did actually pass out once, but I was not in a situation like that. And my dad, like I said, used to rent out the front of the house, and we had a young couple living there. Me and we weren't even married yet, my soon-to-be wife. We sat down there with them and drank a bottle of tequila with them. Yeah. 4 people, bottle of tequila.
Not a good combination.
What could go wrong, right? Well, I was so drunk. I got to go lay down. So I went to go lay down. I passed out about 3 foot short of the bed. I woke up like 10 hours later, still on the floor. Oh, wow. That's it. Never touching tequila again. And I never did. That's crazy. I said, I've never passed out before, and I don't like it. You know, yeah. I will not do it. Thank God nobody made me up. But, you know, but, so I used to see stuff like that, and I'm thinking, they're going to do that to me if I do something that stupid. Right. I am not going to be that guy, you know. Right. And the women, and no offense, but the women get stupid drunk. They start throwing up all over the place, peeing themselves, you know.
I've never gotten that drunk.
Well, thank God for that, but a lot of them did, you know. And it's like, why do you do this, you know? Right. Oh, it's fun. No, it's not. Right. You know, there's nothing fun about, I had another friend, Rick, another Rick, not you, Rick. He was a great guy. He was funny as shit, but if he would drink till he would pass out all the time. We went to a bar in Fort Myers, a redneck bar, right? And he had this Grand Prix that he put a 5-speed in out of a Vega. The car was kind of a piece of shit. He was really good at driving it. He was very tall. He was 6 foot or 6'1", way taller than me. But we had Long Island iced teas. Well, he had 2 of them. I kind of sipped mine at that. I'm not going to get trapped.
Those are really strong drinks.
Yes, they are. Well, he got so drunk. Said, we got to go, man. It's, so 30 miles back to the house. You're trapped. I said, why don't you let me drive? No, I'm fine. Oh, all right, fine. So we get in the car. He's parked front ways toward the bar, side of the bar. Throws it, the first slams into the wall. Of course, he knocked the front end in enough for the fan start hitting the radiator. Didn't leak anything, but you could hear it. So he gets out, opens the hood. He's ready to stick his hand in the running engine. So I grabbed him. I shoved him out of the way. What the hell's wrong? So you trying to lose your hand? Go sit in the damn passenger seat. I'll take care of it. So I turned the car off. I yanked it out. It was fine. So I'm driving us home. I said, yes, I am. Or I'll walk home, or I'll hitchhike. I'm not getting in the car with you if you're driving. You can't drive, And I got no wish to die tonight. So I'd watched him drive this car. There was a sequence you had to do with the 5-speed. If you didn't do it right, it would lock up. And I wasn't in any condition to unlock it. So the seat's all the way back. I'm short. I'm literally slid down on the seat trying to push in the clutch, right? I'm thinking, if I get pulled over, I'm going to jail for DUI. Because I'm not crashed badly, but I would have failed the test.
Yeah.
I did get us home.
The seat wouldn't go up?
No, it was broken. It was all the way in the back. You couldn't move it forward. Like I said, I had to kind of slide down to push in the clutch. And then I had to remember how he shifted. There was a certain sequence you had to do. Couldn't go first, second, third, fourth, fifth. You had to go like first, go into neutral, wiggle it once, go into second, go back in, wiggle it again to go into. It was stupid.
Oh, wow.
I don't know what the hell he did on it. It was, plus he cut the hood. He was like a customizer, car customizer. He sliced the hood and raised it so that it looked like a big giant backward scoop. I had a hard time seeing over the damn thing because it was this tall. And I'm trying, I must have looked. Thank God it was no cops. I would have went to jail for sure. I get him home, and I threw him over my shoulder. Cause like I said, I was kind of starting to sober up, and I knock on the door. I can't remember his wife's name now, but I said, "Here's Rick. Where do you want him? He's out cold." Throw him on the couch. All right, so I threw him on the couch. So here's the keys. I'll walk home. He was only 4 blocks away from where I live. I said, "Here's the keys. I'll walk home." I don't get out the door maybe 2 foot. She comes out there. "You got to help me." "Why? What happened?" "He just pissed, shit, and threw up all over the place." "He's your husband. That's your problem." I don't know what to tell you. I'm not getting involved in it, I guess he did. I didn't go in to find out, but
right.
But that's it. He pissed in my house once he got so drunk. He goes in the corner, starts peeing on the floor. I said, "What the hell are you doing?" "That's not the bed." "Oh, I thought this was the bathroom." "You see a toilet there, you moron?" Get the hell out of here, I mean, the guy was bad, but he would get so drunk he'd pass out. But he'd usually throw up on himself or piss himself or shit himself. It was just, one of those things. But I mean, she finally left because it was a weird relationship. I can't remember her name will come to me in a while. But she was like a country girl, not pretty. I mean, but ugly, And he was they were both from Wisconsin, I think.
Yeah.
So they were, cheeseheads or whatever. But I don't know where he found her from. But he was terrified. She wasn't allowed to do anything without him. We couldn't even talk to her unless he was in the room because he was so afraid she was going to screw around on him. And I found one day, I said, "Rick," I said, "I wouldn't fuck her with your dick." Okay? But my wife is 10 times better looking than she is. And I said, "I'm more than happy with my wife, And what the hell is your problem anyway?" I said, "Why are you so..." I delivered her baby, believe it or not. She got pregnant. She had 5 kids altogether, but her 5th one, Rick was out drinking. And she come over to the house. They said we're only a two blocks over. And
Yeah.
where's Rick? I don't know. Well, you need. She said my water broke. I said we need to get you to the hospital. I'm not going to the hospital until I find Rick. You're not going to have that luxury. You need to. We finally talked her into getting in the car. We got her in the back seat of the car. The head's crowned.
Oh wow.
I guess I'm the second baby I delivered, so I knew what the hell to do. No big deal. Play catch, basically. So I delivered the baby. Of course, the paramedics finally came and they did it. I didn't cut the cord or anything.
Yeah.
I just made sure the baby was all right. So I didn't get the afterbirth out either, so I let them do it. Well, I see Rick the next day. He's all pissed off at me.
Because you delivered the baby?
Because I seen her.
Seeing her vagina, that's what he was pissed
And
off
I'm thinking, dude, I wasn't thinking about that, you know.
A whole baby's coming out of it. You wouldn't.
I mean, and I mean, yeah, I didn't even occur to me, you know. I'm delivering a baby. I hope the baby's okay. I hope she's okay, you know. What the hell is wrong with you people? So he wouldn't talk to me for about a month.
That is insane.
And he wouldn't, she had no driver's license. She wouldn't allow her to work because he was terrible. And what it was, he was cheating on her constantly.
Oh,
So,
so that's
yeah,
why he was.
Guilt,
like
little
that.
guilt
Yeah.
going on there. And he figured she was doing the same thing. I'm thinking nobody's going to go with it. You know, unless you were completely drunk and out of your mind, you're not going to touch that thing because I mean, she was ugly. She really was. You know, she had a nice heart.
Yeah.
But looks wise, she'd scare away a bad guy. You know, so it was kind of funny in a way, but he used to beat on her all the time.
Oh.
Yeah. But he always hurt himself. That was the funny thing. He come over to the house one day, his foot's in a cast. What the hell happened? He said, I kicked Linda. That's her name, Linda. I kicked Linda. I said, what'd you do? Kill her? No, she's fine. She laughed at me. I broke my foot.
Get what you give, right?
Another time he come over, he had the traction things in his arm. He shattered his hand and his arm. What the hell did you do now? I saw I hit Linda in the head. I said, she dead? No, she laughed at me. Well, like I said, I think she was too dumb to get hurt. You know, she must have had a thick skull. He hit her, punched her in the head, and shattered his hand and part of his arm.
Well, I guess he wasn't too bright either.
No, he wasn't. He was an idiot. And I said, dude, what the hell's wrong with you, you know? Well, she pissed me off. I said, if she's that bad, you need to find somebody else. You know.
Oh.
I said, you know, if I ever got to a point where I wanted to hit my wife, I'll divorce her and find somebody else. I'm not going there, you know.
Yeah.
The only time I ever hit a woman is after she hit me first. And I never hit a woman with my fist. I had a girlfriend a long time back in high school. She actually slapped me for no good reason. I slapped her right back, you know. You can't hit me, I'm a girl. You can't hit me either.
Oh,
You know.
well, that's right.
Don't hit me, I won't hit you. Well, that ain't fair. I said, well, you know, sorry, but that's the way it goes. It's not one way, you know. But that's the only time I'd ever hit a woman, you know. I mean, well, yeah, that is young. I almost hit the dike, but I worked at a box plant up in Indiana.
Yeah.
And my boss was a lesbian. Bull dyke, really. And she didn't like me. She started ordering me around and stuff, and I said, look, I'm doing my job. Leave me the hell alone. My brother-in-law worked there, and me. They were the only two guys, mostly women, worked there.
Yeah.
My job was to cut the boxes, and then it went down the line, so if I screwed up, everybody did. But I knew what I was doing. I was good at it. She got on my shit one night, and I said, you know what? You know, either put up or shut up. So I'll take you outside and kick your ass, and let's go. And I said, come on, let's go. What are you waiting for? I'm going to beat the shit out of her. You know, because she wanted, I mean, she dressed like a man, acted like a man. If you're going to be a man, well, take an ass kicking like one. You know, she wouldn't do it. She wouldn't go for it. I guess she knew. I don't think she was expecting me to stand up to her.
Yeah.
But like I said, you know, I want to go so far with something. Once you go past that line, all bets are off. But, you know, but he, like I said, it was funny that when we first met them, you know, I said, me and Rick used to do favors for a time until he got pissed off at me. Not for that, something else. I mean, he got pissed off at me often, but we invited him. We would take turns going to each other's houses and make dinner for each other, you know. he was over my house, and my wife was cooking burgers and dogs and stuff, you know. And she asked Linda, she says, how does Rick like his burger? Well, he likes it well done with ketchup and mustard on it. But don't do that. She goes, well, why not? She says, I'll piss him off. So she goes, well, I'm not going to do that. If you want to cook the burger, go ahead. So she did. He got pissed off because it was rare. There was nothing on it. Next thing you know, he's popping her in the head or whatever, you know. Like, dude, you can't be doing that shit in my house, you know. Well, what the fuck is wrong with her? And I'm going, well, I don't know. And I didn't know the whole story until after they left. And, you know, Celia said, you know, I don't know what the hell's wrong with that woman, but she went out of her way to piss him off. I think she likes it. So it finally got to a point. He hit her one too many times. And I happened to be there that night. I was already divorced, but I was over there enjoying dinner. Said her and 5 kids and him. And I don't know I don't remember what set it off, but he threw a fork at her. Hit her in the forehead with the fork. She bled a little bit. She fucking lost it. Finally. Yeah, that's it. I'm fucking out of here. I'm getting a divorce. Fuck you. You know. And she did. She divorced him, took the kids, hit him up for alimony, child support, the whole 9 yards. You know. And then she finally went out, got her driver's license, got a job. Because he wouldn't let her do any of those things. Yeah. You know, dude, you had this coming for a long time, you know. I can't say I feel
Maybe
for
it
you.
was the first time he did it in front of somebody.
No, he always did it in front of people. He didn't care. Yeah. I've seen her hit her a couple of times. It's like, dude, you can't be doing that shit, man. But see, a long time ago, I learned the hard way. I was walking down the street, my own street, and I hear this woman screaming for help. Like an idiot. I go over there. What the hell's going on? He's beating my ass. I said, the guy looked at me. Fuck you. Get out of my way. Said, you lay a hand there, I'm gonna fucking hurt you. You know. What the hell's wrong with you? So he got stupid. I wound up kicking the shit out of him. Right? She starts hitting on me. Leave him alone. You're gonna kill him. I said, no, he'll be fine. What the hell? Why are you fucking standing up for the guy? Well, he didn't know what he was doing. Yes, he did. You're screaming for help. I come to help you. Now you're telling me to leave him alone. What the hell's wrong with you? You know? She got up my shit, so I said, you know what? Fuck this. I'm never helping anybody again. You know? And that's what happens 9 times out of 10. If you get in the middle of it, you'll get the bad end of the stick. Because I swear some of these women, and I'm not saying all women, but some of these women actually like getting beat on. And I had a neighbor. They were a couple old country husband and wife. Every weekend they'd get on a whiskey drunk. And every weekend we'd meet, both me and my wife, we'd hear them throwing glasses, windows breaking, everything else. One night she got so mad at him, she had a little Pontiac Astra, old mini car. He had a big 4-wheel drive F-150 with 40s on it and shit. Big 4-wheel drive, right? She gets in the car, backs up to the end of the driveway, and starts ramming the truck. She's only hitting the tires. I mean, the car's literally screwing up the car. It's not hurting the truck any. Right. I'm out there laughing at her, you know. It's like, stupid. You know? So she finally gets pissed off, shuts the car off, goes back in the house, hear more glass smashing, and screaming and yelling. Yeah, that's their business. I'm not getting involved. Well, what happens, they happen one weekend. I get up in the morning, I go outside, there's broken beer bottles all over my driveway. I know who did it, so I go over there and knock on the doors. Get your fucking broom and your dustpan and clean up my fucking driveway. You know? I said, look, I don't care what you idiots do in your yard, but when you bring it in my yard, we got a problem. Now go clean it up. And the guy did. He went over there and cleaned it up, you know. Dude, I don't know what the hell your problem is. You guys need to quit drinking whiskey. It's not good for either one of you. You're going to wind up killing her. You're going to go to prison for life, you know, or she'll kill you. Maybe she'll stab you or something. But somebody's going to go to prison. Somebody's going to be going to their grave. You know, you guys got to knock it off. Oh, man, but, you know, we have such good times. I said, that's good times? So a few months later, I come outside. She's got a crack. She snapped her leg. You okay? It's not that funny, is it?
Yeah.
Hey, calm down.
What did Derek just right there.
He said Tom's girlfriend is going to go home and never come back and think that Tom was a great catch. You may be right, Derek. So one day they said he snapped her leg. So she's in a cast right up to her hip, right? And I go, what the hell happened? Oh, I got hurt. I said, yeah, it's obviously. What happened? Well, I don't want to talk about it. She said, he broke your leg, didn't he? Well, yeah, but I had it coming. So I said, all right, never mind. I'm just curious. So
I had it coming. Nobody has that kind of shit.
A few weeks later, he comes over. He said, I got good news. I said, what? You divorced the wife? He said, no, we bought a house out in the estates. He said, we can kick the shit out of each other. I don't know what will bother us. Have at it, man. Never seen him again after that. I don't know what happened. I didn't hear anything about him killing her or him killing her. But
that's insane.
You know. So I'm saying, I mean, I don't do well with drunks because they're idiots.
Right.
And I don't really do too well with drug addicts either because they're real idiots.
Right.
You know. I said, I smoked pot. I did a little bit of speed back in the day, but that was it. You know. I mean, crack, cocaine. I'm afraid to do all that stuff, man. I had too many people. My ex-wife, her cousin, something happened to him. Somebody spiked his drink at a party. He was a certified genius.
Yeah.
It was IQ like 170 or something. Whatever they put in his drink fucked him up. He turned into basically a brain dead idiot, and his hair turned white. And she actually showed me pictures before and after. I said, well, you ain't lying, are you? No, whatever the drug was that he took, it didn't kill him. It was worse. He's stupid now. And, you know, he's like, I will never be that guy.
Yeah. Right.
So it did. It scared the shit out of me. I knew people. I knew the kid. He wasn't a friend, but he was going to high school in the same class I was in. I don't know what happened, but he went home one day. And he was huffing gasoline out of a 5-gallon bucket. Well, he passed out and drowned in the bucket. They found him, you know, had the bucket. And of course, it was a prominent family, so they lied about it. My mother was working for the coroner at the time. She goes, oh, yeah, they're lying about this. He died in a bucket of gasoline, you know. But they didn't want the truth to come out. They said he died of natural causes or something like that.
How does a kid die of natural causes?
Unless he gets a COVID shot, it ain't going to happen. You know? So, but we saw a lot. I mean, I in high school, I saw a few people die in front of my face, ODing, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell's wrong with these people.
Yeah.
You know? I had a friend, Daryl Tong. He's dead now, too. He put a bullet in his own head. But he was totally addicted to pot. He would buy a pound a week. Back in the day, it was cheap. It was $300 a week. Well, call it cheap. And he would smoke it all himself.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
I know it's a lot. He was like a chain smoker. Well, one time he got laid off from work and he didn't have money to buy more pots. He comes over, hey, he says, what do you got that'll get me high? I said, I ain't got nothing. You know, I didn't waste the money on it. I don't have any pills for you. He said, you got Lysol? I said, yeah, why? He says, give me some can of Lysol and a pillowcase.
Oh my goodness.
So, I was kind of dumb too. I mean, I let these guys do this. I had a rule. If you're going to die, go out in the street. Don't do it in my yard.
Right.
I don't care what you do. Just don't die here. So he takes the pillowcase over his head, starts hyperventilating himself, and I'm spraying the Lysol into the pillowcase. He got high off of it. Didn't kill him or anything, but it probably couldn't be good for you. You know. And then I had Freon because I worked with air conditioning. I had a big jug of 12 and I had a jug of 22. Mm-hmm. The guys come over, hey man, can I hit the Freon a little bit? I said, don't use it all. You know. The problem with Freon is when you huff it, if you get the liquid, you're dead. If you get the gas, one guy, Kevin, he says, well, how does that work? He says, well, when you snip it, everything sounds like a bell going off in your head.
So why would you want to do that?
I don't know. But he said, but we all know if you got liquid, you would die right then and there because it's highly toxic. Mm-hmm. So you had to be careful not to suck the liquid, just the gas. And like I had another friend, Ray, he would go to the store and suck the whipped cream cans. Because at that time they put R12 in it. Safe, but you're not supposed to huff it. He'd go in there and huff 10 cans of it and get high on the pipe. You Yeah, I knew a lot of idiots. That's all I could say. You know, I didn't do it. These people were good examples of what not to do. Yeah. I don't know if Ray's still alive or not, but Daryl, he died. He said he put a bullet to his head, pulled the trigger. We don't know what happened, why he did it, but who knows? You know. Another friend, his girlfriend broke up when we went down to the beach, shot himself in the head with a .38 revolver because his girlfriend broke up with him. I'm going, there ain't no woman worth your life. You know, plenty of them out there. Find another one.
Hello.
a lot of weird people, you know. But you know, and that was another reason I quit school. I quit school because I was afraid I was going to get caught in that club where everybody was dying. My graduating class, had I graduated, half of them were dead. You know, they OD'd, freak car accidents. One guy, you remember the foot pedals they had, the surfer foot pedals? He had one. I had one in my car, but it never stuck. You know, I put it in right. He put one in his pickup truck. It got stuck to the floor. He panicked, slammed into a building, and was killed instantly. You know, that's what they said anyway. I don't know how true it is, but I'm guessing probably. You know, and it's just weird stuff happens. You know, it's like my graduating class is all dead. You know, it's like I'm not going to graduate. Screw it, I'll drop it out. Hell with it. And I did. I quit 10th grade, went to work, and I was fine. But I actually quit. I quit at 15. I wasn't allowed to quit legally because you can quit at 16 with parental consent. Well, my dad consented to it. You know, even though I was still only 15, so the school tried to talk me out of it. I actually petitioned the school board to quit early because they said, you're wasting my time. I'm not failing anything. You know, I wasn't straight A or anything, but I was doing well enough. And I said, you're not teaching me anything here. I said, all you're doing is holding me back from making money. You know, I had a bet with one of my teachers. I'd make more than he did the first year I worked. I won the bet, $500. He thought for sure he was going to make more than I did. But see, I had two positions in my job, so I was getting double the money.
Yeah.
Even though minimum wage was $2 an hour, but I was actually getting $4 an hour because I was washing dishes. Plus, I was in charge of all the plumbing. Yeah. Because they had a, what do they call it? Not a septic tank, but a cesspool. And it was a truck stop. And I'll tell you what, I don't know which was worse. The women's room or the men's room. The women's room would be used tampons all over the place, hanging off the walls and stuff. It was disgusting. That's gross. You know,
women can be really gross.
Yes, they can. I mean, the men were bad enough, you know.
Yeah, but
somehow
when you got all
toilet,
that stuff that women use, they're really. I used to clean the bathrooms in the school.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah.
And you know what's going on.
Let me tell you, the women's bathrooms were
nasty.
They said, what are they doing? Having tampon fights in here or what? I mean, they're all stuck to the wall. They're used for, you know. You're not supposed to flush them anyway, I don't think.
No.
You're supposed to put them in a trash can.
Yeah,
trash.
But they would flush them. They'd flush like a dozen at a time. So I'd be out there plunging the pipes and stuff, you know. Sometimes I had to take the sink off the wall and unclog it. I mean, it was a mess. But I got good money for it, so I didn't care, you know. But, so I actually made, I think I made like $2,000 more than my teacher did first year. So, bullshit, you know. If you call me a dropout, I'd make nothing of my life. You're wrong, and I proved you wrong. I had a plan, and I did. I took a week off after I quit. The next week, I found a job, and I've been working ever since I had the stroke. You know, never afraid of hard work, and I did a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
But I didn't see any point being in school. As a matter of fact, when I petitioned the school board, they said, "Why do you want to quit?" I said, "Well, first off, you don't ever teach anything about life." I said, there are people, my classmates can't balance a checkbook. They don't know how to apply for a mortgage or even a car loan. You know, they're idiots. Yeah, they might be able to do trigonometry, but I can do trig, you know, barely. I said, but you're not teaching us anything we need to know in life. This is where school falls short. 9 through 12 is a review of everything you did prior. You know. I mean, I made straight A's in history, geography, and English class. I actually had a third year college level of English capabilities. Really good spelling and everything else. Yeah. Of course, we were taught different back then. I know how to put together a word. Today, they memorize words. Now, when my kids came home from school, they had to do, memorize words. You don't know how they're put together or how they break them down into syllables. They don't teach syllables or anything.
Yeah.
Here, this is the word. Here's what it means. Remember it. Huh?
Phonics. They don't teach.
Phonics. They don't teach. Yeah, exactly. We learned phonics. You probably know. So they don't do that anymore. So I was doing really well, and the things that I felt were important, I excelled in. I was kind of weak in math, although I did take geometry, trigonometry. I was kicking around calculus, and I said, nah, that's crazy. But I did well. I did well enough, but I wasn't acing anything.
Yeah.
So I said, where am I going to go? And I was taking the highest phase classes they had. I was still bored to death. I'm just wasting my time. I got to the point where I'd go to the bathroom and smoke a cigarette. That's what I did all day long. Yeah. I said, there's no reason for this. I should be out because it was different then. At 15, you could get a real job. Now you can't. They won't let you.
Yeah.
But back then, I had no problem finding jobs. The truck stop was my first job. I had it for 9 months. It was supposed to be a permanent job. I got it through an agency.
Yeah.
And they wound up giving me money back because it was supposed to be year round, and it wasn't. So I went from there. I went to a junkyard and worked there, and that's what I did that for quite a few years. And then, like I said, I progressed, and eventually I went into business for myself and all. So I did well. I've actually grossed over $2 million in my lifetime so far.
Yeah.
But I never saved any of it. Yeah, I knew I worked when I was painting. I worked for a lot of rich people in Naples, and these guys are telling me I spent my entire life amassing my fortune. Yeah, when do you get to spend it? Well, I'm not ready yet. And the day they are ready, they drop dead.
Mm-hmm.
So you spend your life amassing millions of dollars. When you're ready to finally let go and have some fun, you drop dead. And then your kids get the money. Well, that's bullshit. They're just going to piss away anyway. So I'm not going to be that guy. And honestly, I never thought I'd live that long. When I was 17, I didn't think I'd see 18. When I finally turned 18, I didn't think I'd see 21. I got 21. I said, well, 25, I'm definitely going to be dead. I hit 25, I'm still alive. I said, I guess I'm going to live forever. Hell with it. So I had this idea to enjoy the money I'm making, get the things I want. I had hobbies. I had things I wanted to do. I liked building cars at the time. And, I did a lot of things. So my life I have no regrets, not really. But looking back on it, I'm thinking, all that money I pissed away.
But you enjoyed it.
Well, I did. I mean, like I said, my life was good. I have no real complaints. I did a lot of things. I built a car, like Pontiac Mazda tandem axle, a 6-wheel car. And I drove that on the streets for almost 9 years. And it's so famous that people from other countries have pictures of it.
Oh, wow.
It was a very unique car. I think I posted it once, but it was the only one like that. And I built the thing from, took my Le Mans and put another axle under it, did all the mods and all that. It was really cool. And that was my 15 minutes of fame, I guess you'd say. Until I hooked up with the blonde girl, and she had a Pontiac Firebird with a V6 in it. She used to complain it's too slow. So I'll tell you what, we were supposed to get married, we never did. I said, I'll give you the engine out of Le Mans. I'll build myself a new motor. So I put the engine in her car. Her car was fast. My engine was fast. But then things kind of went south with her, and we split up, and now I got a car with no engine. And I really didn't have the extra money to build an engine, so I went up junking it. It really sucked. I'd probably still be driving it today. He said we all do stupid things, but especially for women. But now, in a way, I look back, I kind of wish I'd have saved some of that money. Of course, they're telling you that you can't retire now at less than $1 million, which is bullshit.
Right, that's a bunch of bullshit.
Of course it is. I mean, if I had another 100,000, I'd probably be fine for at least the next 10 years or so. Because I've already got everything taken care of, so I can pretty much kind of do the interest on it. It's not a lot.
Yeah.
But the extra money would help for like my hobby. Well, I said, if I won the lottery tomorrow, and I was talking to a guy about it the other day, and I said, I don't think I'd really want to win millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't walk away from it. I'm not that stupid, but the reality is, what the hell would I do with it?
Give it to people.
Well, that's probably what I would have. I mean, I'd give my sister and brother some of it.
Yeah.
Because they're having a tough time, and I'd help them. But other than that, I don't need a mansion. I don't want a new car. I like my car. I'd get it painted. $7,000, big deal. You got millions. I might do some more extra work in the house. Of course, I'd spend a few thousand here. Which isn't hard to do, but the reality is I don't need millions of dollars. I don't know what to do with it. I mean, when I had 107,000 left over when I sold the house in Naples after I bought this place. And it lasted a little over a year, but we said we had to put money in the house. I bought the shed. The only mistake I made is this was originally supposed to go in the backyard of the house.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be 20 by 40. I was going to buy a steel building. Well, like an idiot, I didn't get a survey done. I relied on the realtor and the previous owner. They said, that's my land back there. Well, it's not. It's CSX's land, the train thing.
Yeah.
I could do what I want on it, but not put a building on it. I mean, if I want to mow it or maybe put a garden, they don't care. But putting a building on there would be a problem for their insurance because by law you have to have 50 foot between your property and the railroad tracks in case of derailment.
Yeah.
I said, I'd already put a deck out there. I paid $4,000 for it. And I find out it's not my land, so I had to basically throw it away.
Oh.
I mean, everything was planted in the ground. I gave the wood away because I couldn't sell it. So I decided to put one here. Once again, I had a couple of trees cut down. I spent $5,000 on the pad because he wanted more. The price of wood went up. It was all ready for the building. I call up the building company. I said, well, you can bring it over today. We're going to assemble it. Bring it down, get it set up. So he says, all right. He says, can you take pictures of your platform? Yeah, all right, no problem. So I shot pictures of the platform, 3/4 inch plywood, mounted on a 4x4, cemented in the ground. I mean, this thing was built like a brick shit house. Wasn't going anywhere. We can't build on that. What do you mean you can't build? You told me you could put it on a wood platform. Yeah, but not that one. Why not? Well, we just don't think it's adequate. That's not a good answer. I said, I have $5,000 for you. You tell me you can't put a building on it now? Well, we're not doing it. I said, you're assholes. So I went back to the company who I bought it from, third party or whatever. I said, they tell me they can't put the building, so I'll call them and find out what's going on. So he called him up. He called me back. He said, I don't know what the hell you said to them, but they're dead set against putting that building up for you. Well, I didn't say anything to them except it was bullshit. They wouldn't use the pad. They'll put it on the ground. Bare ground, but they won't put it on a wood platform. I don't understand the problem. It's going to be tied down either way. He says, well, they won't do it. I said, so what do I do? He says, well, I'm going to give you your money back because I put a down payment down. I think the whole thing was like $11,000. I gave him $2,000 up front. I said, well, look, I need a shed for my trains. What can you do for me? He says, well, we got 12 by 32. Can you use that? I said, well, it's not really what I want, but I'll take it. How much is it? He said, $8,200. Here's the money. When can you have it delivered? He said, it'll take 6 weeks to build it for you. It's fine. So he says, the problem is, though, we can't put it on your pad. We have to put it on the ground. Because this has a floor in it. I says, fine, I'll get rid of the fucking pad. So I found some women that needed the wood to build a runway for their wheelchairs bound dad. Yeah. They gave me a few dollars for it. I lost money, but finally got rid of it. A couple weeks later, here comes a new shed. I said, I was so happy, I just kind of forgot about the money I lost. $9,000 I lost, I was not happy. You know how many trains I could have bought with $9,000? So I lost $9,000 out of that, but live and learn. So And I learned something. Never trust a realtor to tell you where the property is.
No, you get a survey done.
They don't have a clue.
Right.
I had 2 surveys done because the first one, they screwed it up so bad, and they admitted they did. But they still took my $1,200. You know, which I thought was crazy too. Last time I had a survey done was back in Naples on the property. I think it was like $80.
Yeah.
You know.
My property, I just bought, the house I bought was $75 to do a survey.
That's all it should be.
Right.
They have a machine.
Right.
You know, GPS. Yep, there's the mark, there's the mark. They were out here all day, actually 2 days, and screwed it up anyway. So I had to hire another company, another $1,200. Well, I tell you, it was a little cheaper. It was $900 for the second company. Big deal, right? They got it right, supposedly, but then, like I said, the next door neighbor had his survey done, and I wound up losing a foot of my property. So apparently, no matter who you call, you're going to get a different result.
Right.
So, you know, it's a little crazy, but it is what it is.
Right.
So what are you guys doing over there? You, not saying anything. Where's the questions? Come on, you got nothing for Tom? Nothing for Barbara? Come on, what the hell? It's not like you guys to be so quiet.
Said something. Is anybody out there?
Yeah, they're still out there, but.
Just not if you can hear me.
And a 187 called it a night.
Yeah.
John called it a night. Yeah, Raymond Anthony, 127. There you go. He just popped in. Raymond, you're late. What do you say when you're late? He's the one with the saying.
Just got here.
Come on, tell me that. I can't remember how you put it. About not never being late. He's probably typing it in as he's. Yeah, he'll get to it eventually, I guess. Little typist. Raymond, we got Tom Grassi here as my special guest and his girlfriend, Barbara. They were visiting down here, family and friends, and they decided to pop in and see how I was doing. And they harassed me a little bit. Not really, but it sounded good, didn't it? I don't know. So, I think we're going to wrap it up pretty soon anyway.
So how come, Jim, you got scene 1, scene 2, scene 11, 3?
Well, each button does so. Here it is. He says, a Shortline rail planner is never late. Proto Baggins, nor are they early. They arrive precisely when they mean to.
Right.
I believe that's your Lord of the Rings, but thanks for that, Ray. I knew you had it, didn't you? He says that every time he shows up late. But no, I've got, well, each button does a different thing, so I've got the different cameras.
Yeah, but your scene numbers are out of order.
Yeah, that's the way it came. I don't know why it does that. They are out of order. But it auto-generated that way.
Oh, okay. See, I name my scenes what they are.
Oh, okay, see, I didn't do that now.
Yeah.
I think I've got, yeah, see, I've got,
you got more down there.
I started naming some things like the cams,
Right.
but I got 17 scenes going. Now I got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Only 15, but well, there's 2 other buttons on the next screen.
Right. Well, we have 3 screens on that, right?
Actually, there's like 20.
Yeah.
So I never actually found the end of the screens, but
Yeah.
so I've got 2 screens on the next page that I use for like extra.
Yeah, you just
Videos
need to
and
save
stuff.
an arrow button on one
Yeah, you
screen.
got-
So that
There's the arrow here.
yeah.
I got those 2 there, but yeah, there's a lot of screens in there. I think.
Yeah.
So but that's when I first started setting this up, I kind of really didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Sort of. It all worked out pretty good, but yeah, it is what it is. Like I said, I wish that there was other things. The one thing I'd like to see in this is being able to bring a guest in, from another location,
Right.
like
Yeah,
StreamYard.
OBS, right.
They're supposed to be working on that, I've heard.
Yeah.
Now, there is a third party you could do it in, but it's so complicated.
Yeah.
I'm not screwing it. If I want to do a guest, I'll just use StreamYard and be done with it.
Right.
I want that, and of course, the the chat overlay, when I bring up the chat, they're supposed to put that in there too, because OBS is the only one that doesn't have it. Like Tom uses a different program. Can't remember the name of it now, but it's already built into it.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the guest. But I looked into that. It was like $400.
Right.
It was a cheap one.
But it was wasn't that this a one-time fee?
Yeah, it's a one time. It's still a lot of money to throw out.
Right.
And I looked at it. I brought out the what do you call it? The test. We could try it out. I didn't like it.
I think that name starts with a Y. I can't remember the name, but it's.
I can't remember what it's called now, but he likes it. But he's had it for a long time.
Yeah.
And it depends on what you want to do. I mean, they have one. I think it's like $900 for one time thing. You get all kinds of features in that, but
yeah.
Like you get so many cameras, so many guests.
Right.
If I have a guest, I only really need one.
Right.
Yeah. I've only got X amount of cameras, and the Stream Deck takes care of that, so I don't need to have all this other crap.
No, OBS takes care of this.
It does.
Right.
So why do you need, So I said,
your buttons just tell it to do scene 14.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I said, I've got them here. I've got everything lettered out. I've got the 5 cams, 6 cams actually. Got the main, the panoramic view, the tunnel cam, which is back there, the east cam, which is back there facing this way, the doodle cam, which is this one.
Right.
That's the west cam behind you. And I got this cam here. I can't remember what it's called. And I actually got like 7 cameras, but but the problem I'm having is I'm stressing the computer with so many cameras.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of the reason why I'm having a problem bringing some of them up sometimes. I mean, I've come out here, fire up everything, and 3 of the cameras won't work. So I got to do a reboot, shut off the cameras from the main hub, turn them back on, and everything's fine. I don't know why they black out. Makes no sense to me.
Well, I just reduced 15 cameras down to 5.
Did you really? Well, you had cameras everywhere, didn't you?
Yeah, I had cameras everywhere.
Well, now you got
with the PTC camera.
I was going to say the PTZ camera.
I can do the whole level without. I have 4 cameras on a level because I have to do it from each corner. But with the PTZ camera, I can go.
See, that would be something I should look at. Mount one in the ceiling, about the middle of the layout.
Yeah, in the middle of the ceiling. Then it could.
And
do
they
the
could
whole
just
thing.
do the whole thing, because
Right.
I know some of the guys have said, how come you don't have a remote camera that you can walk around with? Well, I kind of do now.
Yeah.
But it's still kind of a nuisance to run around with it, like you
Right.
said, the one on the tripod. The problem I have, I don't have a good remote speaker, microphone. This one, if I yell out enough and aim it that way, it'll pick it up.
Right.
But I have to talk really loud.
Yeah.
Or it'd be better if I have a wireless mic. And I probably could hook it up in the computer. It's a really expensive deal I bought. Because I was using that before I went to these mics. It's a body mic. You've got the transmitter and the mic. And then the receiver would hook right in the computer.
Right.
I've got it in a drawer. Like I said, I haven't used it in a while, but I probably, like I said, I need to do some upgrades in the way I'm doing things, but not right yet. So, 2-hour Zoom meetings suck. Ray's back in. Hey, Ray, how's it going? Ray Bertelson. He says, hi, Thomas Barber and Sidekick Jim. Oh, wait a minute, I'm a sidekick now? Been lurking while working. Okay, that's cool. And Gerald says, so Raymond, are you Raymond the Gray or Raymond the White? I don't know what that's in reference to.
I don't know what that means.
I don't either. You'll have to clarify that, Gerald. Raymond says neither. They went over my head, sorry guys, but
don't feel bad, Ray. I have a 2-hour Zoom meeting every Monday and Thursdays at work, so I know what you mean.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
I've never been in a Zoom meeting. I have no real desire.
Well, we brought Zoom into the college because we couldn't have people all in a room
That makes
because of the
sense.
stupid shit that went on a couple years ago.
Oh,
Right?
God.
Right. So then I said, okay, that's all over. Why don't we just start meeting back in the conference room again? That's a good idea, but then nobody wants to do it. So everybody's sitting in a cube in an office. There's 4 of us in one office, right? And we're all on the same Zoom meeting. And, then you get the feedback from everybody.
I can see some problems with that.
It's stupid. It's stupid. It's so
You're not
stupid.
supposed to do a Zoom meeting when you're that close to everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Where do you work for again?
Right. Higher education.
Yeah, it's for higher education.
Yeah. I was told my expectations was too high.
Really?
Yeah, because I expect more, and they said your expectations are too high.
You realize you're in the minority now.
Yeah, right.
I'm the same. I expect certain things out of people, but I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
Some level of intelligence,
Right.
which doesn't seem to exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like my doctor. Now I take insulin. I take 2 types. I take the all-day one, which is the Lantus, and then the right before meals I take Novolog. I don't know if I talked about this or not before, but my doctor, no, it's not that. It's the INR. I do. I have to test for my blood clotting because stroke victim. Every 14 days, I have the machine. I lease it from them. It doesn't cost me anything. They take a sample of my blood and I report the numbers. That's be between 2 and 3. So mine usually hovers around 2.2, 2.3, which is fine. But if it goes over or under, I have to adjust my medication. I take warfarin, which is one component of rat poison. Not really, it won't hurt you, but it actually is one component of rat poison. But it won't hurt you. So I take very little of it.
Yeah.
I take 5 milligrams 3 times a week, 2.5 milligrams another 4 times a week. But I have to monitor it, so I do it every 14 days. Been doing it every 14 days since I had the stroke, back in 2007. I tell my doctor, I says, I want to transfer my INR reporting to you just because they need something. You have to write a script, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so he says, I don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about the numbers. I know how to do it myself. That kind of pissed him off. Well, how do you know what I just know. You do something long enough, you figure out what you need to do, and you do it.
Right.
He says, I'm probably better than you at actually figuring it out, because I know me.
Yeah.
So I said, what I need you to do is, I get it every 14 days, so write a 14-day script for me for, a year at a time or whatever. So that the INR people in California have it on record that I have a doctor backing me. They don't care, but that's what they have to do for insurance. So I start getting calls every week from Acellus, that's who does the INR. And they say, you missed your time. When are you going to report your numbers? I'm going, it's only been 7 days. Well, please call us at your early convenience. So I call them up. I says, you're calling me every week. I'm on a 14-day cycle. Well, your doctor wrote it for 7. Well, my doctor's an idiot. I says, I have to pay for the strips. Not much. But if I'm doing it every week, that's more money out of my pocket.
Yeah.
Because they give you about 2 months worth. That cost me I think it's $18.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't want to pay more money for something I don't need to do. The standard testing is 14-day period. So I says, I said, I'll call the doctor in the morning. So I call the doctor. Of course, I talk to the receptionist. The doctor's not in.
Mm-hmm.
Never in. So I says, you need to tell the doctor to write a new prescription for my INR, for Acellus. Put me back on the 14-day schedule. Well, I'm not sure I know how to do that. Well, I'm on a 7-day schedule now. Change it to 14 days. Seems pretty simple to me. If you can add, you should be okay. Add another 7 days onto it. I'll try, but I can't guarantee I'll get it right.
What?
I'm dealing with a moron. So I'm still getting calls from the cellar. So I got the doctor wasn't in yesterday. I forgot to call him because you guys were busy and stuff. But tomorrow I'm going to call him back. And look, what part of 14-day cycle are you not getting? He'll get pissed off at me. I don't care. You want me to get another doctor? That can be arranged. There's plenty of them out there. But you're either going to do this right, you're going to do it my way, or you're not doing it all. I know what I'm talking about. You people clearly don't. And I told you about the insulin, how they gave me the wrong insulin. Right. Well, I was a different doctor, but once again, why do you people think you know more than I do? When I had the stroke, I knew it was a stroke. I had all the symptoms of stroke. I was falling down, I had no sense of balance, a lot of pain in my head. And I'm thinking, shit, I'm having a stroke, So I got to the hospital in the 3-hour window, because you got 3 hours. They have a shot, it's called a clot buster. And at 99%, it will erase any of the effects of a stroke. Yeah. But you have to do it within 3 hours. I got there in 3 hours. So I said, I'm having a stroke, give me the damn shot. Whoa, you don't know if you can't just give you the shot if you're having a, what they call a bleeding clot, if you're having an aneurysm, the shot will kill you. I said, I don't care, I'm already dead, just give me the damn shot. And I realized I was not afraid of dying. I never been. Yeah. I wanted the shot and I wanted it now. Well, they wouldn't give it to me. It took them 4.5 hours to determine I had a blood clot. The damage was done, they couldn't reverse it. Needless to say, I was a little pissed. So, what the hell happened now? Oh yeah, so I'm talking to the neurologist. And he's telling, first thing he said, well, you're never going to walk again. Fuck you, you watch me. If I got to crawl out of this bed, I'm leaving on my feet. Don't tell me I'm not going to walk in. I'll be fine. I wasn't, but I was able to walk though. I did walk out. They wanted to keep me there for 6 weeks. If I'd have stayed in that bed for 6 weeks, I would not have walked again. Every day you spend in a hospital bed takes 2 weeks to recover from. And you get to a point. My dad was in the hospital for almost a month. And he had to go to rehab to learn how to walk again. He was a lot older, but still, So I told the car, I said, I'm getting out of here. I said, I asked for, they have a compression stockings for your legs to exercise your legs to pump the blood while you're in bed. It helps. I asked for it, they refused to give it to me. It's all right, fine. You tell the doctor I'm leaving tomorrow AMA against medical advice. You can't do it. I said, watch me. I can do it, and I will. I'm not staying in this bed for 6 weeks. I'll be crippled. That's not acceptable to me. Not at 47 years old. So, and they did some stupid things. I remember because they checked my blood pressure. It was crazy high. I mean, I should have been dead high, And they gave me a drug, and I said, what's this for? We're going to increase your blood pressure to blow the clot through. What the fuck are you talking about? You can't push 5 pounds of shit through a 1 pound bag. I said, if anything, lower my blood pressure to near death, it will release, give me the clot buster, and we'll be fine. Are you a doctor? I said, no, but I got a brain, damn it. Well, they wouldn't listen to me. And actually, my blood pressure, I think when they took it, after they gave me the drug, was something like, what was it, 210 over 350 or something like that. I should have been dead. I really should have been. Grace of God that I'm not. But,
Gerald's going.
All right, Gerald, have a good one, man. Thanks for popping in. Have a good weekend. We'll see you next time. Everything they did made no sense, And then, so anyway, the point of this was they said that you can't feel a blood clot. Bullshit, it's right here. They did an MRI, because MRI will show up black where you have brain damage. Yeah. That little area is black. A ½ inch off of where I pointed. Wow. He told me I couldn't feel a blood clot. And I said, how many strokes have you had? Well, none, but you can't feel one. There's no nerves in your head. Huh? I said, I'm telling you, I feel the clot. It's right here. Well, of course, after the MRI, you were only ½ inch off. I said, no shit, asshole. Dumbasses. And these are people who are supposed to be smarter than me.
Right.
It scares me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Doctors don't know everything.
they don't. So I remember asking though the cardiologist that was here handling. I says, "Well, I said, what's the deal? Am I going to die or not?" He said, "Nah, probably not." Yeah, all right, fine. You know, I didn't know at that point. I wasn't afraid. Like I said, if it's my time, I'm going. You know,
Yeah.
but I should have sued that hospital. I really should have. You know, and I didn't. Same hospital that sent me home to die when I had the heart attack. You know, and I wouldn't have had the kidney damage except that they shot the dye into me for the to look at my arteries.
Yeah.
And that dye is known to cause kidney damage. Well, I got shot 3 times with that stuff. Twice in the hospital down there, and once up in. They had to do it in Orlando, so they can see what needed to be fixed.
Yeah.
But these idiots down here looked at it, said, "Man, fuck them, let them die." I mean, I don't know if they said that, but it sure seems like it, you know. And you know, they had me completely screwed up on morphine. I was seeing things. The trip up to Orlando, I swear I was in another place. You know, I was talking to people who weren't there, and you know, when I got up there, I started. I mean, it actually came down off it about the next day.
Oh wow.
I mean, they had me pumped full of that stuff. I was feeling no pain though. Yeah, never again. But they kept hitting me. "How you feeling?" I said, "I'm a little sore." "Oh, I'll give you more morphine."
Jeez.
I don't know. Well, they made, but I had really bad food poisoning when I was young.
Yeah.
I ate a bad burger from a burger place.
Yeah.
I know it was the burger because I gave half of it to my dog because it didn't taste right. The dog was sick for 3 days.
Oh wow.
So it got so bad that I had to go to the emergency room. So I drove myself to the emergency room. I mean, I couldn't sleep. I hadn't slept in like 3 or 4 days. Couldn't sit, couldn't lay down, couldn't eat anything, couldn't hold nothing down. I got food poisoning. I need you to pump my stomach. Whoa, wait a minute. You don't know that, you know. I do know, damn it. I got food poisoning. Well, how do you know? I know. That burger was the only thing I ate that day. It's bad, and I got food poisoning, and you need to pump my stomach. Well, they wouldn't do it.
Because they don't want you telling them what to do.
Exactly. But I didn't know that at the time, and I'm thinking I'm doing you a favor. I'm telling you what's wrong with me. Fix it. "Oh, you just probably got a minor case of indigestion or something." They wouldn't even give me anything for it. They sent me home, "Drink clear liquid, you'll be fine in a day." 2 days later, I had to be carried in. My dad carried me in there because I was fucked. I mean, I thought I was going to die. I was near death anyway, but I didn't know it at the time. So the same doctor was there. He comes in, "Are you back again?" I just grabbed him by the neck and I said, "Motherfucker, if I think I'm going to die, you're joining me. Find out what the hell is wrong with me and fix it." "You need to calm down." I said, "I need to calm down. You need to. I told you I had food poisoning." They did all the same tests again. "Well, you got a really major case of food poisoning."
No shit.
So they said, you know, they gave me some antibiotics and they said, "All right, you can go now." I said, "Well, what about something for the pain?" "We can't give you anything orally." I said, "Give me a shot of something, you know." "Well, the only thing we give you is morphine." I never had morphine. Well, I didn't care at that point. I was in agony, you know. Said I've been up for like 7 days. Was starting to get emaciated. I mean, I was in bad shape, you know. They said, "Well, we can give you a shot of morphine." I said, "Fine, get the needle out." She said, "Well, you're going to have to pay for that up front." I had to pay $80 for a shot of morphine.
Wow.
Cash money. So, as soon as I got there, I mean, literally within seconds, I was feeling no pain. That's some good shit. I didn't get high or anything, but the pain was gone. So, thank God I was able to get a night's sleep. But for the next 2 years, I couldn't leave the house without having some sort of antacid with me. I would get heartburn just looking at things.
Yeah.
So, my son's mother in Indiana was working for a doctor at the time, some Indian guy, right? From India. I said, "Michelle, can you get me an appointment with the doctor?" She said, "Why?" I said, "I don't know what happened. Since this food poisoning, I haven't been right." I said, I'm living on antacids, you know. Can't be good for me." "All right, I'll get you in. When you coming up?" I said, "I'll be up in about 2 weeks." Got me an appointment in there to see him. The guy was really good. I mean, the couldn't hardly understand because, their accent.
Right, yeah.
Up. He knew what the hell he was saying. He says, I told him what happened. He said, well, what did they do for you? I said, well, they gave me such and such antibiotic and, told me to take that. He said, well, how long did they give? I said, they gave me 6 days worth. Oh, man, you should have got like 20 days worth of that stuff. He said, what's happening is you have intestinal damage. It'll heal itself in time, but it's going to take a long time. He said, they didn't give you enough. They didn't give you a strong enough dose, and it wasn't long enough. And they kind of waited too long to give it to you. Because I told them all the story. Son of a bitches, They couldn't really do much for me. He gave me some more antibiotic, a little stronger. He said, take this, it'll help. But really what you're going to need is time. And it took literally almost 2 years for my system to heal up. Mm. And I said I couldn't leave the house without a pack of Tums or, because even water would give me severe heartburn. No. So I said, indigestion, whatever you want to call it. So I said, I have no faith in doctors. I really don't. I don't like doctors. I said I will give them shit every chance I get if I think they're wrong. And what I really don't like is them telling me what my body's doing. Whose body is it? Is it mine or is it yours? If I tell you I've got pain here, don't argue with me. Yeah. Or if I tell you something's going on here, take me seriously. I know what I'm talking about. But, that's what I said. So, I'm probably, the list they do. My wife, Debbie, says that when they put the list, they put comments on there. You can actually get blackballed. So they'll write you down as a hypochondriac or a complainer. It's an asshole. I've never checked into what they wrote about me, but I'm sure there's some really juicy stuff there, But I tell you, if my knowledge, even when I had the stroke, because they blamed it on cigarettes. I started smoking when I was 15. I smoked 2 packs a day. And I had the stroke in 2007. I was, 40 maybe? I don't remember. It's been so long. 47. So, that's a lot of years of smoking, but I never had a problem with smoking. I never got to cough or anything. I was never worried. Yeah. I think that was 90% of the thing, because I knew people that were, I got to quit smoking. I'm going to get cancer and die, and then they do. I think they convince themselves, and it happens. I'm like, no, cigarettes are fine, But they blamed it on the cigarettes, and I said, no, it's not the cigarettes. Well, what do you think? I said, it was the soda. I drank a lot of Coca-Cola. I was addicted to it, really. Yeah. I was buying the stuff from Mexico with the cane sugar. It's actually better for you than the shit you buy here. Still not good for you, though. So I looked it up, I investigated it, and there's a chemical in everybody's body called fibrin. Fibrin determines the thickness of your blood or the ability for it to clot. If you have too much fibrin, which I clearly did, you can have a stroke, blood clot stroke. Well, I said, working as a handyman, I was always cutting myself. It happens, I wouldn't bleed for a couple of seconds and it would clot right up. My blood was so thick it wasn't fine. I didn't connect the two, I said, well, good, I won't bleed out, But I didn't realize, I should have investigated it sooner. I could have prevented the clot. Yeah. Because I could have started taking natural blood thinners and thinned out my blood and, of course, backed off the soda, not have been fine. So when I said, no, I said it was fibrin that caused the clotting. What the hell is fibrin? Huh? He didn't know what it was. Go look it up in your medical dictionary. So he did. Well, how do you know you had too much of it? I said, because my blood was too easy to clot. It was very thick. And it shouldn't be. It's probably from the soda, because soda can cause blood clotting. It wasn't the cigarettes. Cigarettes will take some of the elasticity of your arteries. Yeah. But that could theoretically cause a heart attack from closing up your arteries. But I don't think I had that problem because I didn't have other areas that were a problem that required blood flow, what I'm talking about. So I said that it wasn't an issue of constriction of my blood vessels because I didn't have a heart attack. I had a stroke. I said, you know what happened is the blood thickened up too much and it couldn't make it through the tiny arteries in my head. Oh, I don't think you're right on that. I said, I don't care what you think. You know, it's easy to blame it on cigarettes, or blame it on this, or they blamed everything but actually what it was. You know, it's always convenient. Do you smoke? Yeah. Why? Well, that's what caused it. How do you know that? I just know. No, you don't. Yeah, you remember? Neither one of you. I mean, you might be old enough. Yeah, you have to be because you're older than me. Remember on TV back like in the '60s, they used to have that commercial with the monkeys lined up, smoking cigarettes. They force feed cigarettes to the monkeys, and the monkeys would drop dead. You know, because if you smoke 24/7, you drop dead too.
Right.
But that was their excuse for why cigarettes were bad for you, because the monkeys died.
Right.
Well, the monkeys were chain smoking 24 hours a day. They'd last 3 or 4 days and they dropped dead, probably from oxygen deprivation.
Right.
You know. What kind of a stupid test is this? Well, they call it an accelerated test on the effects that it would have on a person. So they try to condense 50 years into 3 or 4 days. Well, you know, you could drown and drink too much water, too. So if you do things in moderation, you'll probably be fine. The monkeys were not smoking in moderation.
Excessive.
Yeah, so it was just total bullshit, you know. Hey, the one that always got me. Remember during the gas crisis? And I know you remember this. I think it was Chevron or Shell. That might have been Shell. They had 2 identical cars on like a quarter-mile oval, and one car had 1 gallon of gas, and the other car had they both had 1 gallon of gas. One car did 70, the other one did 55. Okay, so they say, you know, at the end, the one doing 55 was still rolling. But the one doing 70 lapped the one doing 55 who knows how many times. They said, see, that's proof that 55 saves gas. But it's an absolute lie. Every car I've ever owned, the sweet spot is around 74 miles an hour. That's when you're at the right aerodynamics, where you're actually slipstreaming to some degree. If you're going slower than that, you're fighting the wind. If you're going faster than that, you're fighting the higher wind. But most cars are designed aerodynamically to do approximately 74 miles an hour for their maximum gas mileage. But it was a bullshit lie, you know. I mean, obviously the car doing 55 wasn't doing it was doing more laps than the car doing, or less laps than the car doing 70. So the car doing 70 would run out of gas first. You know, they didn't tell you, well, how many miles did both cars drive? Don't care about laps. You know, the car doing 55 get, let's say, 100 miles. The car doing 70 might have got 150 miles. So who was the real winner? You know. I mean, the government, and that's why I have problems with the government too. They lie constantly. You ever seen Reefer Madness back from the 20s or 30s? They were trying to convince people that if you smoke pot, you would become a sex maniac and a possible murderer. You know. That's like, I watched that movie the first time, I think, when I was a teenager, and I'm going, what the hell are they talking about? You know, I know pot smokers. They're just a bunch of dumbasses that don't want to move. They're like sloths, you know. They're not sex crazed. I mean, how could you be when you don't have the will to stand up and do anything?
Right.
You know.
They can't murder anybody.
Yeah, because they're too high. They're just kind of out there. They're not even thinking. What a bunch of, but that was actually a training film back in the 20s. They were trying to convince people that. Even the worst one, remember the nuclear bomb test. Now, you should probably remember it because I only did it 1 year. I think it was first grade. We did the duck and cover under the desk for the nuclear bomb.
Right.
And they actually tried to convince us that if you got under your desk, you would survive a nuclear attack.
Right.
And another thing was dive in a body of water so you could be boiled alive.
Right.
You know, they wouldn't tell you that, but that's what would happen.
Right.
Now, I have my own ideas about nukes. I think they're fake. And there's no proof that they're real. We'll find out soon enough. Putin's been threatening to nuke everybody now for about a year.
Right.
You know. And even then, they just talked to him because they're over in Cuba right now. And, you know, they said, well, you know, are you planning on nuking the United States? You said, nah, I'm not ready for that yet. You're not ready because you don't have any.
Right.
You know, nobody's got them.
Right.
There is such a thing, but they're so large, they're not mobile. And have you ever seen the I mean, the training films are fake anyway. I guarantee. I watched them over and over again, and the mushroom cloud looks superimposed on the film. And the best one though is where they show a test, an above ground test. They claim it was in Nevada, but it's bullshit. They got a row of trees, which are perfect. In nature, nothing is perfectly lined up.
Right.
All right. Like a log cabin and a Jeep. Now, remember, they didn't have videotape back then or even anything electronic. They had camera film. The camera was close enough to see they detonated the bomb. And then you see all the trees go down perfectly. The house splinters and the Jeep is destroyed. But the camera's fine. And the camera's like right there, maybe 100 yards away. First off, radiation destroys film. Okay? Right. That's how x-rays work.
Right.
You know, they use radioactive material to expose the film and it only sees your bones. But if you put radioactivity near film, it will expose it. So how did they get pictures of this stuff?
Right.
Okay? Like I said, perfectly lined up trees in neat rows of like 30. That will never happen anywhere on the planet. They're always scattered. There's no perfectly lined rows. Now, I imagine what it probably was. It was probably a model. And they blew up a little bomb, piece of dynamite or something, and had a fan behind it to simulate the explosion. Now, they don't show the mushroom cloud in that particular scene because it happens outside the lens. But it's apparently close enough so they can do the actual test. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. All right? Now, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, well, there's proof of nuclear bombs. No, it's not. No one ever saw the mushroom cloud. That's a statistical fact. There was a woman who they found after they dropped both bombs. She was outside of Nagasaki at the time, like 5 miles away. And she actually went back into town the next day. And they said, how you feel? Did you see so I didn't see anything. I heard an explosion. I heard lots of bombings going off. And then the whole town was destroyed. Now, they rebuilt that town within 3 years.
Right.
Radiation we were taught in kids,
that's for
half-life was 1,000 years.
Yeah, right.
So 2,000 years should be radioactive. Where's the three-armed people and the mutated fish and animals? No, there's no mutations. The radiation levels are normal, have been ever since. So what they surmise actually happened, remember, nobody had cameras back then. And they actually threw leaflets down on the town to evacuate most of the people.
Right.
Historical fact. So a lot of people left, and I think they carpet bombed the place.
Right.
They probably had maybe 1,000 planes out there and just... And then you look at some of the structures are still sort of intact. If it were a nuclear weapon, the way they describe it, it should have just leveled the whole place.
Right.
But it didn't. So I don't believe it. I could be wrong.
Well, there was one guy that was in the first city when the bomb went off. Then he got out of the second city and the bomb went off. And he didn't have any radiation. So how did that happen?
It's impossible. It should have been killed right out because they said if you're within 5 miles of the bomb, the radiation would kill you over like several weeks or something.
Right.
These people were fine. There's no 3-armed kids, no 4-eyed people or 5-eyed people.
Right.
There was no mutations at all. There's a few cancer things, but that's normal. That might not have had anything to do with supposedly the bomb. And the fact that nobody's dropped one since then.
Right.
I mean, we threatened Russia, we threatened China, we threatened the Middle East, we're going to nuke you. After 9/11, Congress gave, what's-his-face, Bush, full approval to nuke whoever did it to us. Why didn't he do it?
Right.
Oh, I don't think it's necessary to drop a nuke on them. But they killed 4,000 of our people. Yeah, but that's not a good reason to nuke somebody. Then what the hell is? When Trump got in, he asked about the nukes. He says, we could nuke some. Why don't we nuke ISIS or whatever? He said, well, you can't do that. Well, if we have them, can't use them, what's the point of them? I don't think he even knows the truth. So who the hell knows? Let me sign off with this thing. Thomas Moore, what's going on? Hey, Jim, I uploaded a short of the Canadian Pacific last week. All right, I'll look for that. Trainman, so do you remember that you're even still streaming? Yeah, I know. I got a little carried away there. Thought you were going to finish an hour. You know me better than that. Hey, your stuff is on the way. I think you're getting your stuff Saturday, I think. And Dwight, your stuff's out in the mail. I sent all you the tracking numbers so you can keep track of it. Let me know that you got everything in one piece, and can't wait to see what you do with it. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it a night. Thanks for hanging out. I wish I was more attentive, but I wasn't. Next time. And hopefully next week we'll have something more to tell you about. So say goodbye to Tom and Barbara.
Good night, everyone. Have a good one. We'll see you soon.
There you go. Chuck Shriver says, good night, Jim, Thomas, and Barbara, and to all, catch you next week. Cool. Trainman says, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely. Oh, that's great. I can't wait to see it. All right, guys, I'm going to put the end screen on, and remember to give the finger to the signal guy. You know what there is. Good night, everybody.